Midnight music. 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 Midnight music.
They still do dog racing.
Some states, I think some states made it illegal.
Yeah, but there's still Greyhound races around. So I've always wanted to go to the Belmont. It's like the most. It's such the Belmont Stakes is like the bougiest thing on. Long Island.
It's the most Long Island thing ever.
It's very fratty. It's like ridiculously fratty.
Yeah, it's just sweater vests and khakis.
And big ass hats for no reason.
and then trophy wives
Pretty much.
and hookers. You just don't know they're
Potentially.
you just don't know they're hookers.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy now because you have the UBS Arena there now, so you can essentially have a party in the UBS Arena and sell more tickets. Like it might be the most like attended Belmont Stakes this year.
US Arena is in Belmont?
It's right next to the racetrack.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I thought it was like closer towards Queens.
I mean, it's on the border of Queens.
Oh,
Belmont is
I thought Belmont was Suffolk County.
no Belmont is not a town. Number one. It's actually located in Elmont, New York, which is the beginning of Nassau County, but everybody mistakes it for Belmont during this time of the year. It's like, oh, the Belmont Sings in Belmont. No, it's actually in Elmont. I don't know where the origins of Belmont came from.
Where did the B come from?
Yeah, I don't know. They killed Dracula. We did not kill Dracula in New York.
Well,
Wait, wasn't there? Didn't Eddie Murphy do like a Dracula comedy and it was like based in New York? I want to say yes. It had to be in the 80s.
I couldn't tell you. The broadcaster has indicated this channel is intended for mature audiences. Well, let me turn back now. I'm very mature.
It was Vampire in Brooklyn. Thank you, Taquan.
Okay this week? Oh yeah, they're doing like good apartment stuff, right?
K's finalizing their move.
That's right. They measured us this afternoon. I forgot.
Yeah.
So I am officially. It actually today's my Friday. I am off the rest of the week.
Really? What's the
Yeah,
occasion?
my boss is graduating grad school tomorrow, so
Oh, congratulations to your boss.
she's walking. Yeah, she's communications.
Ah,
Communications,
yes.
something like that. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Jazz and I going to Stockbridge, Massachusetts, bed and breakfast.
I was gonna say, what the hell's there?
Bed and breakfast. It's gonna be awesome. My parents got us a gift card, so we got like half off.
There you
And
go.
they upgraded us.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, ooh, what's the occasion? Someone die?
Yeah, I forgot. I've never been to a bed and breakfast. I don't get the lore.
Oh, dude, bed and breakfast are awesome. They feed you.
Well, yeah, but like I don't get the lore.
Well, the one we went to last year was in Rhode Island. What's it called? God, this is killing me. Jazz, where did we go last year? Rhode Island. What is it called? The bed and breakfast? The town? Not Portsmouth. Fuck. Whatever. It was in Rhode Island. And
It's not that big of a place.
I know it's a beach town.
Most of Rhode Island is a beach town.
I know Rhode Island is a giant beach. Anyway, the bed and breakfast. It was like an old house. It's a giant house. It was an inn, right?
Yeah.
So you have your own room. It's like an actual bedroom with like a porch and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I don't do bed and breakfast. That's just the scenario for a horror movie.
I guess. But no, it was just older white people.
Yeah. Scenario for a horror movie. Who's dying
Nice.
first?
No, but like seniors or like pre-seniors.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So the food was really good, and then there's the town and things to do. Like we went to the Vanderbilt estate is up there. You do the tour of the Vanderbilt estate, which now that would be a horror movie. It's really weird. It's like, wow, you motherfuckers had so much money for no reason.
Yeah, and just kept it all. When you said Vanderbilt,
No, it didn't look racist. It was very homey. Really felt like the house I grew up in. So old.
when you say Vanderbilt, I think Vandertunt because of I watched too much Archer.
Fair.
Archer's fucking amazing. Speaking of really ridiculous comedies, I actually, because I had never seen it, but I heard it was coming back, but I binged it while I was working today. I watched Clone High for the first time.
What is Clone High?
All right, it was a single season show on like MTV, and it's the dumbest premise in the world. It got canceled after one season, but they're bringing it back. So apparently, these mad scientists got the DNA of all these famous people from history and cloned them and created a school for them. So now it's all these famous people as teenagers from different eras of time.
God, it's like Camp WWE, but MTV did it.
Yeah. So you have Gandhi, Lincoln, Cleopatra's the hot chick of the school. Joan of Arc's the emo person. Abe Lincoln's just totally oblivious. JFK is
Abe Lincoln's in the closet.
No, he's not actually. JFK is just the horny jock all the time.
Naturally.
And he speaks.
That's what it was in real life.
He speaks with his accent. It's pretty good. He's like, I'm ready to do this wood shop and nail these things down. And when I mean nail them, I mean my penis.
He's like, do you want to come to my house for some extracurricular studies?
Yeah.
Bobby.
Who else is in there? Mandy Moore makes a random appearance. Marilyn Manson makes a random appearance.
So you need some heels.
They're all kind of weird. Gandhi's like a dork. Who else is in there?
Gandhi's just like a poor kid who's always hungry. Come on now.
No, they're who else is it? George Washington Carver's in it. He always has peanuts around. Joan of Arc, Jesus is Mexican and they call him Jesus. That's also true, yes.
That's awesome.
Jack Black sings about drugs, that's true.
It depends who's voicing all these characters, but it doesn't surprise me it was a one season because MTV shows are mostly one season.
Well, no, they're bringing it back now. It's going to be on HBO Max.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, you should...
Just Max now, please, Ricky.
Yes, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Going through an identity crisis. Oh, I saw it today that Hulu and Disney Plus are going to merge into one app.
That's fine.
Which... I kind of like them. I like them separate, dude. I'm not going to lie.
That's a lot for one app, though, because Hulu's got a library of shit.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, so Taquan saying the guys from 21 Jump Street and Into the Spider-Verse got their start at doing Clone High. I was like, that's why it's so fucking funny.
Like the writers?
I think it's the writers, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum, the director, are pretty known.
Yeah, no, I think it was the writers of those products.
Movies are really funny.
Joan of Arc lives with a blind black guy. He's like, well, I may anytime he says something, he goes, well, I may be blind, but I can see this, and he goes into a tangent about something.
Unbelievable.
Clone, you should watch it. It's 20 minutes an episode. You can get it done in half a day.
Well, the only thing I gotta do tomorrow is go to the bank.
It's got a South Parky satirical vibe to it.
Oh, how do you go to Goog?
And they decided to bring it back. Genghis Khan is in there, and he's mentally challenged.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. I'm just seeing a picture of Gandhi making out with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dude.
Oh, it's Abe Lincoln.
I knew it was. I told you it was closet.
Yeah, they got a lot of heat for that one.
Hey,
the
dude,
premise of the episode, it makes sense in the premise of the episode.
Dude, this animation style looks like the Proud Family.
Kind of, but it's pretty good. They did remove Gandhi from the reboot. Yeah, a lot of people got mad of the Gandhi thing, but I was like, you're really looking at Gandhi.
JFK's hair paste makes him look like God, that guy from Backyard Baseball with the lollipop, Tony Del Vecchio.
The only Backyard Baseball character I know is Pablo Sanchez.
Of course, everyone knows Pablo.
Of course. Charles is here. What's going on, Sir Charles?
I'll give you a picture of Tony Del Vecchio.
The Leafs are getting swept, so my attention is elsewhere. I'm sorry about that, Frats. Welcome to baseball season now.
Yep.
We are talking about Clone High, Frats.
With the last place Yankees, who would be in first place in the AL Central. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, it happens. That is true. To quote one of JFK's favorite lines in Clone High is, "Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys."
Well, at least at that point it was true. Oh, it's a web page. That's motherfucker. Save image as.
Yeah, Fred, just to fill you in, I binged the only season of Clone High today while I was working. And I'm not gonna lie, kind of enjoyed it.
Whatever happens to the Kennedys.
I don't know how we're gonna do it in this day and age. I remember undergrads. I did watch a little bit of undergrads. That didn't last long either. But actually, the animation style, when you actually look at Clone High, it kind of reminds you of like a Powerpuff Girls and shit like that.
Yeah, it's very Cartoon Network.
Very Cartoon Network. MTV Downtown. No, Taquana, I do not remember MTV Downtown.
Is that like the Real World?
No. Real World is legendary.
Charles really asked me how the Reich is. Fuck's sake.
Took you long enough.
I bounced back between the different streams, all three of them. A little slow today, Charles. Not gonna lie.
Fritz, what you're trying to say is that it's a satire. Which is the origin of the original one. There was an episode that I actually did find kind of funny. So in the Clone High universe, they did a Christmas episode, but they're like, oh, they combined all the holidays together. Like it said, the UN stopped people doing individual holidays because it always pissed everybody off. So they made a general holiday called Snowflake Day.
Love it.
And so everybody had to celebrate Snowflake Day.
All of you can not stop being fucking snowflakes and get over yourself.
I actually I have not seen the new Beavis and Butthead.
I didn't see the original Beavis and Butthead.
The original one is a hard watch sometimes. Because it's like, it is the epitome of stoner humor.
Yeah, my parents wouldn't let me watch it. When it first came out, 'cause I was like 6, maybe.
Yeah, that's
younger.
also too. But it is that is where you get the origins of King of the Hill. Shut up, Bibbles. But no, King of the Hill, Hank Hill was a character on Beavis and Butthead, and they spun him off and did King of the Hill on Fox.
God, who was the voice? So the voice of Bobby Hill, I think, is also the voice of Chucky Finster.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's a very small voice acting community.
Yeah, and all of the Rugrats are women.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
it's kind of crazy that our childhood was voiced by women.
Have you ever tried to do a baby voice as a man?
That's what. Yeah, now that I thought about it for 3 seconds. Like, oh, it makes plenty of sense. But
Daria was also a spin-off too. That is correct. Dario's a great fucking show.
Is Daria the ginger lady?
No. Daria was this.
Was it Beavis and Butthead?
No, she's a deadpan character.
Oh, American sitcom. Yeah, no, that's who I meant. That's why I thought it was. Yeah, I just got her hair color wrong. I knew who she was. I just forgot what she looked like.
Yeah, she's really fucking funny. I miss the Daria television series.
Same animation style too. That's very much King of the Hill.
Yeah, King. I fucking loved King of the Hill. It's so ridiculous.
I bet if I watched it now, I'd find it funny. I didn't find it funny when I was a kid. That kind of like dry humor just didn't get.
But, yeah, you'll get it now.
If I watched it now, I'd be like, oh, this show is the greatest. I feel the same way with Seinfeld. As a kid, I didn't like Seinfeld because I didn't get it.
I still kind of don't like Seinfeld.
I watched it last night, and some of it's really funny. Seinfeld still holds up, which is pretty wild.
Fretch used to be called Bobby Hill. You know, I might be able to understand why.
Yeah, if I saw a picture of Fretch as a kid, I'd probably see it.
Bobby was that whole family was out of their mind. My dad used to watch King of the Hill because he fucking loved Boomhauer.
Of course.
Because if you actually kind of slow it down your eye and actually close caption Old King of the Hills, Boomhauer does actually have lines. He's not just like screaming gibberish. He's just saying it so fast that it's hard to really pick up. Oh, Will Gray's here. Will Gray is here. What's going on, Will?
Oh, I'm here. What's up?
No, the other Will.
Oh yeah, the better will.
Yes, the gray will. Taquan, you do not look like Jadakiss whatsoever.
Yes, stop that right now.
you're not a short. I don't even know what your height is, but you don't fit the dimensions of Jadakiss.
And they all called me Harry Potter.
Well, that makes sense.
My glasses were a little more circle when I was a kid.
Glasses, put a little robe on you, you'll fit right in.
I had the long hair too. I had like the Harry Potter 1 and 2 bowl cut.
I would need this little lightning bolt. You'll be good. You'll be straight. So we're going to have a fun, ridiculous episode today because, Will, we are talking. I saved that lawsuit article. We were talking about that lawsuit because I need a good laugh.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was pretty nanners.
I also used to get Drew Carey. Wow, you are fitting a lot of stereotypes here, Fretz. But
Fretz, I can see Drew Carey.
I can definitely see Drew Carey. Fretz, I can see you hosting Whose Line Is It Anyway, which is one of the best improv shows I've ever seen.
It's the only improv show we've ever seen. Dude, it's on HBO. It's on Max. It's still funny, man. It still holds up.
It's hysterical.
The funniest bit ever. I actually found the episode on HBO. It's one of those things from the audience, like a unlikely people live in a sitcom, and this is in the 90s. Remember, and this guy goes Bill Cosby and Hitler. and Drew Carey was ready to do it. A producer came out and was just like, no, no, we can't, no, absolutely not. And Drew Carey was not. He starts fucking cursing. This is fucking bull, like on air. He's kidding around, but he's beeping it out.
Yeah.
So Ryan and Colin just do it anyway. He just goes, no, the other Hitler. They actually do the bit, and it's so fucking funny. It's so funny.
Oh, I think my favorite skit on Whose Line is always Scenes from a Hat.
Scenes from a Hat is the best.
Scenes from a Hat, and I do like when they do props.
The props are funny. I do like a good hoedown.
Hoedown could be really interesting.
Yeah. The Newscasters is also a good one because they all have quirky characters. Newscaster / the dating game.
Yeah, or like who comes to the party and they have to figure out who's at the party.
Yeah, the superheroes.
There's also one where it's like, what is it? They pick two people from the crowd and they have to like. Essentially, the crowd has to animate the comedians while they're doing shit.
Yeah. They all don't know what to do. The Irish drinking song.
Isn't that?
No, oh my god!
The Irish drinking song is great.
The one with Richard Simmons is the greatest one of all time. That's the greatest episode of all time. The one with Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons is. That is, I do remember that episode full blown. The Richard
I
Simmons
watched it on cable like 20 years ago. I laughed so hard.
Oh my god, yeah, no, but they kept Whose Line Is It Anyway going until the 2010s. Aisha Tyler became the host.
Yeah, they brought it back. They had most of the original cast. I didn't watch it because I think Drew Carey really did kind of hold the show together.
Well, yeah, but then Drew went to do The Price is Right.
He went to do The Price is Right, which, man, God bless him. He got a fucking payday for that.
Yeah, shit.
Like, Colin Mockery still does improv stuff, like, in the city. He has a show, I forget what the name of it, but he still does it. I mean, those guys are really talented. I don't know how Wayne Brady and the other guy,
Ryan Stiles.
Not Ryan Stiles. The other guy who would sing. The guy who would.
The other guy that was as like a talented singer as Wayne Brady. I know what you're talking about.
He looked like a donkey.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, there was Wayne, Colin, and Ryan, and the fourth was always a
rando.
Greg Proops, the woman, the other woman,
yeah,
and the other guy. I forget his name. Not Ryan something. Fuck, what was his name? Fretz, help me out here.
Fretz would know, yeah. Yeah, no, I remember.
Actually, a website. Brad Sherwood.
Yeah.
Brad Sherwood was really funny.
Yeah, I also like the musicians.
Oh, Laura Hall.
Because here's the thing, like, I don't know, like, unless they were prepped about what they were gonna play. He's like, yeah, you're gonna do Caribbean beat and go, and they're like, oh, okay.
No, they were probably prepped.
You have to be prepped. There's
Yeah,
no way you can
the
pull that off
style
on
was
the
probably
fly.
because it was on the cards.
Yeah.
But the surprise cast members. Colbert was on a few episodes.
Really?
He wasn't funny because sometimes they'd have a guest and he's kind of just there just to be there. Mm-hmm. Like he's one asking the questions in the dating game. That was Colbert's role. Like it's kind of a shame he didn't get to actually do a lot. But he was there for a few episodes. And the Robin Williams episode is really funny.
I'm surprised Jon Stewart didn't get on an episode. I feel like Jon Stewart would be amazing.
I don't know how his improv would be. It's hard to do improv.
No, it is really hard to do improv. There's you know what the first rule of improv is, right?
No.
It's a yes and.
Really?
The first rule of improv is yes and.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Because you just have to keep going. Yes and blah blah blah, blah and you keep going. Mm. It's a way to keep you just flowing into it, and you kind of figure it out as you go along.
I feel like I could be good at improv.
It takes some time. You just have to be really quick on your feet.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of wild because I've been doing some research into the MCU a little bit more because I'm about to indoctrinate one of my friends into the MCU this weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we're starting from the beginning.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, what marathon are you doing?
No, it's gonna be in spurts. But you've seen the original Iron Man.
Yeah, of course. Saw it in theaters.
95% of that script was improv.
No.
Yep. They improv majority of the script.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah. There is some kickback because like Gwyneth Paltrow and Jeff Bridges aren't like improv style actors, but they figured it out and they just played around with it.
I know a lot of comedies are like a lot of Anchorman 2 was mostly improv, which is a reason why it was bad. it was just a narrative mess.
But yeah, most of Iron Man 1 is mostly an improv movie, which is wild to think about.
Yeah. Tight, too. It's a very tight movie.
Oh yeah, no, it's done very, very well. And they actually built the Iron Man suits. Or most of it before, they CGI'd, when it went to like theaters and shit. But like the first one, the Mark 1 when he's in the cave is like 100 pounds with the flamethrower on it. Like they built it. And put a human being in there with a flamethrower, which is kind of fucking nuts. Actually, Daquan, I can see you as Shelton Benjamin. And we've already gone through You Will Grey as Seth Rogen. Like, Taquan, if you dyed your hair... if you dyed your hair, like, golden yellow, you'd be a perfect Shelton. You would. Like, you're just looking at it.
Yeah, just out of shape, but yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Are you ready to get the show on the road?
Yeah, let's do it. Let me start rolling here. Let me start rolling there so I don't forget like last week. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Midnight music.
Coming up this week on Kings of the Wings podcast, after a pretty stellar WWE Backlash, we're about to get on the road to Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia and to crown a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. However, before we get to any of that, we've got to talk about the absolute craziest legal dispute that I have ever read that involves pro wrestling and half of the country. It is Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 340, the Bunny Hop exclusively on Wrestle Addict Radio, and it starts right now. Alright, is it just me, Will, or after this weekend do you want to go to Puerto Rico? Because I sure as fuck do.
Dude, I've always wanted to go to Puerto Rico, and I think he said Kings of the Wings, which made me even
I
more
almost said,
excited,
you know what,
'cause
I
do
caught
love wings.
I almost said wings, and I caught myself at the last second because you are correct there. The W almost came out, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 340. The Bunny Hop. I'm your host, King Rick Rose, along with Will Tarashot. K Murphy is finalizing their move, so K Murphy will hopefully be back next week when all is said and done. We have a pretty interesting show today. We're talking a lot about Backlash, the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and that kind of ridiculous tournament, and even more ridiculous legal dispute. But before we get on to that, Will Tarashot, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I really enjoyed some Backlash. I actually had wings, so wings are still on my mind.
I had wings as well.
It's gonna be a good show. I'm very excited for Am I the Asshole at the end, so always stay tuned for that.
Oh yeah. On our post show exclusively on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, which you won't be getting on the audio stream. So yeah, we have some interesting stuff to talk about this week. We're going to talk about Backlash, and I have a lot to say about that. Premium live event, which should have been a throwaway, and it ended up being a fucking banger. Which WWE does it again. It's absolutely absurd. But what was that?
I need 5 minutes to talk about Carlito. First of all.
Yeah, I've got it all marked out. I've got it all marked out. You're one of the first people I thought about when Carlito showed up.
Me too.
Oh my god! But before we get into all that, let's talk about. There's a wrestler that I was unaware of. There's a wrestler named Rocket Khan. Will, do you remember a Rocket Khan at all?
No, I saw a picture of her. I'm like, this looks like Cameron.
It's not Cameron.
And then I was surprised I remembered who Cameron was. So I have no idea.
I'm very surprised you remember who Cameron was. Yeah. So Rocket Khan apparently was a former WWE Diva Search contestant back in 2005, which originally was won by Ashley Massaro. She did some time in developmental there, then she went to TNA. And apparently, according to this photo, I guess she won the Knockouts Division Championship at one point.
I mean, it's the X Division. Who knows?
It might.
In fact, it's some weird things.
That does look like the X Division title, to be completely honest with you. So Rocket Khan this story in and of itself is not a story that we would actually cover on this show on a regular basis. However, this is totally worth it on multiple levels, just basically due to the absolute ridiculousness of this legal dispute. And it does kind of tie into pro wrestling. So Rocket Khan, real name Tranisha Biggers, had a developmental deal signed with TNA in 2008, would part ways with the company for the following year. So she was not there for a long time at all. In 2019, Rocket Khan was charged with interfering with child custody and aggravated kidnapping, and was at one point part of El Paso, Texas's most wanted list. This is where we start, folks.
It's a great start.
This is where we start.
Nice.
Okay. Biggers' court date, which is her name, her last name is Biggers. Her court date was moved several times due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but she opted not to show up to her day in court last December. This is a bad move. Okay. In October of 2022, Biggers filed a suit claiming that many wrestlers, just listen to this, folks, many wrestlers were part of a conspiracy against her in relation to the ongoing case. This is not the start of Am I the Asshole. This is a real story, Mr. Freds. I can't promise you how real this is. Okay. So again, in October 2022, Rocket Khan filed a lawsuit claiming that many wrestlers were part of a conspiracy against her in relation to her ongoing child custody kidnapping case. Are you ready to hear the people who are listed in this lawsuit?
So wait, this is a separate lawsuit from the kidnapping in El Paso?
Yeah. So
I didn't know you could sue while being sued.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, continue.
It's called countersuit. So the ladies and gentlemen, I was want to preface this. This is a long list of names.
It's quite the list.
It's quite the list. So
it's like a list of Jericho.
This might be better than the list of Jericho. So the suit names as the defendants the state of Texas, the El Paso Child Protective Services, the FBI, The Las Cruces, New Mexico Police Department, the NYPD, the New York Police Department, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, New York ACS, which I guess is, I don't even know what ACS is. I should know, since I think I'm probably in a relative field. Omega Sci-Fi Fraternity Incorporated, Shirley Police Department. That's Shirley, Long Island, by the way. The birthplace of Mariah Carey. Sigma Phi Epsilon. In Suffolk County, New York. Okay, Shirley.
The whole county?
Shirley is in Suffolk County. So not only did she countersue Shirley, she also sued the county that Shirley is located in. Okay. It gets better at Suffolk County, New York. You also have The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, WWE personalities Miz and Maurice, current Impact Wrestling star Heath Miller, also known as Heath Slater, WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella, not Brie, Nikki Bella.
Nikki specifically.
The late Chris Benoit.
How do you sue a dead person?
You can sue the estate.
I think that's been settled for at least a decade.
Probably. Former WWE talent Mark Jindrak.
I thought he was dead as well.
I don't know Jindrak's dead. I thought he might be not doing well. I don't know. The now defunct Panda Energy, which was once the former owners of TNA and Impact.
Wait, are they not a company anymore?
Panda Energy went out of business.
So how do you sue someone that doesn't exist anymore?
I don't know. Home Depot, the company.
Okay.
The now defunct Florida Championship Wrestling, FCW.
Again, how do you sue someone that doesn't exist anymore?
Steve Skinner, which is Steve Skinner Kern, which is he was a big wrestling coach. The National Wrestling Alliance, the NWA.
They're still around.
NWA President Billy Corgan.
Smashing Pumpkins. Okay, might as well sue the rest of the band while you're at it.
The now defunct Deep South Wrestling. The Bank of America.
Okay.
Might be the only reasonable person to sue at this point in time. Basketball star Michael Jordan.
What?
Yes, basketball star Michael Jordan.
Did she claim a Michael Jordan kidnapped a kid she might have kidnapped?
Who knows? What's next? Who's next? Southpaw Wrestling. Hold on a second, Frets. No, it's not. It's not Southpaw. I see your face. Well, it's not Southpaw. It's not on the list.
I got really excited. Can we sue the cast of Glee while we're at it?
Oh my God. Well, half of those people are unfortunately passed away. But now defunct Deep South Wrestling, Bank of America, basketball star Michael Jordan, Will Tarashuk, I'm talking with Tarashuk, several universities, Jim Cornette.
Whoa, hey, I'm not being sued. Knock on wood.
Jim Cornette, Mick Foley, New York City area energy company Con Edison, and countless others. The articles from SC Scoops, it said countless others. That means there are more names than they were willing to write down for an online article.
I want to know, how are all these people connected?
I don't know. It gets even better. The lawsuit alleges that defendants all conspired to kidnap the plaintiff and her children. So all of those parties involved, including yourself, Will, had to have conspired together to kidnap this one woman and her children.
Dude, unless that kid beat MJ one-on-one, like, this ain't happening. Me and MJ like this, you know that, Ricky.
I'm well aware. I'm kind of jealous that you haven't brought him over so you can sign some of my shit that I have of his. Here we go. Court records obtained this week show that in February of 2023, Raka Khan was allowed to move forward with the case against her multiple defendants. That just means some judge out there has a wild sense of humor.
This judge is just like, I just want to see how many lawyers the defendants have.
He either thinks this is funny as shit, which he probably does. He also probably does want to see all these people like, oh, I get to get Michael Jordan in court? Hell yeah.
And The Rock in the same place. He can sign my wig.
Yes. You want to know how long this lawsuit is?
How many pages?
48 pages.
That doesn't seem too bad.
It's pretty long. 48-page lawsuit shows Bigger seeking $3 billion in damages, with some of the many names listed by her showing up multiple times in the lawsuit.
All right. Okay. Out of all these people, who's going to have the best lawyer?
Bank of America. Actually, no, I take that back. The NYPD.
Ooh, yeah. NYPD's gotten away with murder a few times, so yeah. Lionel. Yeah, she got Lionel Hutz. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Rest in peace, Phil Hartman.
Yeah. So there's more. Bigger's also cited in her lawsuit that the, quote, terroristic tactics, actions, and events have caused her to be unable to gain employment and has destroyed her professional wrestling career. A career that we already noted lasted less than 5 years?
Yeah, lady, you got other issues, clearly.
Yeah. The former wrestler also claims, it gets even better, folks. The former wrestler also claims that she was taken to Rikers Island, a jail in New York, and held there while her children were, quote, kidnapped.
Well, if you were sent to jail, it would make sense that you can't raise your kids from an island prison in, like, Manhattan.
Yeah.
Someone's got to take your kids.
Yeah. And then it just says, if convicted, interference with child custody is a felony for jail sentence of up to 2 years.
So she's just like, hey, man, I'm going down. Might as well go down swinging.
That is a hell of a swing. But Will, how do you feel? Can you give us your first comments on after being realized that you have been sued by Racket Khan?
Well, so the case is moving forward. That means both cases, meaning the suit against her.
Yeah.
Now, could a judge be like, listen, we're going to take the suit against you, but the countersuit's being thrown out? Could he do that?
I'm not sure. I'm not a legal expert. I'd have to talk to my lawyer friends.
Yeah, because I want to know, like, who's the original person suing her? Is it just El Paso?
I don't know. If I read correctly in another article, I think she's being tried in the Eastern District of New York, aka New York City.
Right. So, yeah, because, like, this whole thing was, like, I read this, I was very confused. So she's being sued for something.
And she's
countersuing.
Yeah.
I want to know. So if you're suing Michael Jordan and The Rock, that doesn't mean The Rock and Michael Jordan necessarily suing you. So I am just very, very much confused here. Maybe she's looking to get paid from somebody. Someone's like, The Rock's just like, just throw out $100,000 and call it a day, and like a case of my tequila and just call it a day.
Maybe an energy drink.
Oh, the energy drink. I think he has both, right?
Yeah, he has both.
Oh God. Yeah. So good luck, I guess.
Yeah, it is very weird. You had the Jim Cornette went like 20 minutes about this.
Motherfucker.
There is all right. So Raga Khan also, I think, on TV or maybe even backstage had a thing with Kurt Angle.
That was during his Vicodin phase. So
I think that was during the I think that was during the Vicodin phase.
I don't think that counts.
Yeah. So there's that ridiculousness in the world of wrestling. Raga Khan, and
I want to meet her lawyer and be like, dude, bro, how do you feel about suing Michael Jordan?
Yeah, the legal team on her side has to be like, are you shitting me? You know what it was? She clearly has some mental issues that she probably needs to get worked out, and I really hope that she does. And if there's any lawyer out there in good faith, probably counseled her and was like, hey, listen, this isn't going to work. And, but she probably like, let's go through with it. And he was like, all right. He probably filed that motion or filed the suit thinking it wasn't going to work. And the judge was
and then it was like, judge was like, you know what?
Let's
see what happens.
Let's see what happens. And honestly, I don't blame the judge. I probably would be in the same position. I'd be like, you know what? Let's see how this plays out.
I mean, you got nothing to lose as the judge.
No.
Right? You're just like, hey, man, you guys are gonna have a hell of a Wednesday.
Yeah, I doubt it'll actually go to trial. To be completely honest,
not a chance.
It'll get thrown out pretty quickly. So good luck to Rocket.
She might go to trial, but everyone else might not go anywhere.
Yeah. No, that is the most ridiculous lawsuit I've ever heard.
I don't know. It's pretty ballsy to like be allegedly kidnapping your child, and make, you know what? I'm suing Texas and New York.
Not just New York, the NYPD.
NYPD.
I'm gonna sue a state. I'm gonna sue a county in a state. I'm gonna sue the most famous police department in almost the world. And oh, by the way, I'm also going to sue the FBI.
Yeah, dude, like I don't think and the NYPD and El Paso Police Department get along very well.
But they will today.
They will today. It's like, hey man, thin blue line, right? We got this fist bump.
Yeah, so my God, it's ridiculous.
Weird, man.
It is
Very weird.
It is very, very weird on all angles. Let's move on. Backlash was this past weekend, and Jesus Christ, I hope we never have another American premium live event ever. Because honestly, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve premium live events after that performance by that Puerto Rican crowd.
Oh yeah, dude, it just reaffirmed my love of Puerto Ricans. They're great people.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about even starting from SmackDown all the way through that weekend. Like, did you see the intro? Well, no, I think Nate put it in our Discord. The intro to SmackDown that they did, the drone footage.
Yeah, fucking nuts.
Yeah, they did it again for Backlash.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The crowd easily made this card another point and a half, another crown and a half.
Yeah, it went from like a 7.5 to a 9.
Yeah, I mean the crowd was excellent. They were ready, and them all singing Bad Bunny's song just.
Oh, it was like
It should have made evented, man. That's all I was saying.
No, I totally agree because there was no coming back from that. There was no coming back from that at all. Let's talk about Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. The true main event. I mean, WWE tried to cover their ass and be like, "We're having a double main event." I was like, "Oh, Bad Bunny's going on second to last." Then okay.
And no, but what we mean is it's in the middle of the card.
Yeah, man. Listen, Bad Bunny's entrance. Oh, Miro's back. Yay! Maybe he'll do something with his career now. Thanks. Welcome back.
He'll be out in 3 months again.
Yeah. Listen, Bad Bunny might have the best entrance all year. And that's including WrestleMania entrances.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
He had the drone. Number one, WWE needs to use drone footage a lot more if they're able to do it. Like if the arena can like set it up and they can do drone footage. You gotta be careful because I know in American crowds will probably fucking shoot the fucking drone down for no fucking reason.
They'll throw something at it.
Yeah, someone's gonna get thrown at the drone. But from the drone footage to people, like the entire crowd knew the words to his song. Everybody knew the words.
Yeah, it's like it was their national anthem.
Yeah, like it blew my mind. Like they knew it. They were aware. The pop he got even on SmackDown, showing up last minute, was unreal. And this match in and of itself was crazy. I didn't know Bad Bunny was that strong.
Yeah,
he Michinoku driver Priest easy.
I mean, he's ripped, but yeah, he's also very strong for a little guy.
Well, he's not. He's like 6'2", 6'3"
Is he? Is he that big?
He's skinny. He's skinny. Yeah, he's got a skinny physique too.
He's that tall? God damn! I guess Damian Priest is that much taller.
Yeah, Damian Priest is like a half a foot taller than him.
And Priest did a great job as well. I know we're giving Bad Bunny all the credit, but
Priest is a great seller.
Priest did a great job carrying him through that match and like leading and making him look good and selling. Like Priest did a really, really good job in this match. Who, don't forget, is also Puerto Rican.
Yeah, and I mean Bad Bunny itself knew the assignment too. Like he was selling like a good baby face. Like he totally was like knew what to do. It was kind of crazy. And we know that like a couple years ago he moved to Orlando and trained for like 6 months.
Yeah.
You know. But for him to be in that spot and not get visibly overwhelmed and to continue to go and to hit all of his spots. I mean, this motherfucker took like a falcon arrow through a table midway through the match for no reason.
Yeah, that did happen, and I forgot that happened in the crowd.
Yeah, and the best, I think the best acting job that whole match was Adam Pearce coming in afterwards. Like, hey, what are you doing? Stop!
It's done. It's not done. I'm not done with them yet. It's a great line. I'm glad the hot mic picked it up.
Oh yeah, no, they delivered. They kicked up the mics for that spot.
Yeah, Damian did a good job with the knee. Bad Bunny did a good job destroying the knee.
Damian Priest continued the knee injury into Raw.
Awesome.
It was brilliant. Yeah, continued it into Raw. Damian Priest has a high upside right now, especially after this performance.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's just a shame he didn't do anything on WrestleMania. like not a goddamn thing.
Yeah, but I mean, they were setting this up.
Yeah, they saved it for this.
Yeah.
So if you're Damian Priest, would you rather have this at WrestleMania or in Puerto Rico? I mean, he's Puerto Rican, so probably in Puerto Rico, but it's a bigger stage. But
I think you had to do this match in Puerto Rico.
I hope they keep going with Damian Priest because he's a really good. He's huge. He's a good character.
It's a great heel.
He's a good heel. I think he still needs a little bit of character work. Like he's just kind of there in a Judgment Day. Like Judgment Day has done wonders for Rhea. Like Rhea has found her character. She's there. She's got it. She's nailed it. Damian Priest is almost there.
It's taken time. Like Rhea got it, then like Dom got his character.
Dom got it too.
Yeah, and then I think now Damian Priest is getting his character, and Finn can be Finn.
Finn's just
being Finn.
Yeah, just a little over the top.
Finn's being Finn.
Yeah, this match hit everything. It hit all the high points, hit all the low points, and this goddamn crowd, man. I kind of want every show to be in Puerto Rico now.
Yeah, it's only like a 17,000 seat stadium, if that, and it felt like it was 50,000 people in that place.
Yeah, it felt like 30,000 people there.
Yeah, it was huge. This should have main evented. Clearly, we should have main evented.
Yeah.
The whole setup from the beginning to the end screamed main event match, especially the way that they had Bad Bunny on his shoulders at the end. Like that should have been the last image you see.
I also popped really hard for Savio Vega.
With the first time or the second time?
Both. Although it was kind of a bummer, and I'm interested to see what you think of this, because when they were backstage, right? Obviously, they're speaking Spanish. Fine.
Yeah.
That video it's there for the crowd.
Yeah.
Would you have liked subtitles, or did it not matter to you? You got the point across.
It got the point across.
I think it got the point across, but I still would have liked subtitles.
I understand, but I think it's hard to do that. I mean, there are people who are able to do subtitles live and stuff like that, but for something like that, which is clearly like essentially a pre-recorded segment,
yeah,
you got to get the video footage, you got to send the footage to the translator, and you got to put all of that in.
The news can have live subtitles, like
That's
captions.
True.
So like there is a way. It's just kind of auto transcribed. It's a little lagged.
Yeah, I don't think WWE would want to auto transcribe it and lag it. But
The body language told the story. It's like, hey man, here's a candlestick, go get him.
Yeah.
Tap on the back, and then it's for the crowd. They all speak Spanish. They all know what it is.
They all understand. Yeah, I always assume that if there are no subtitles, then it is not meant for me to get. So I just leave it alone.
Yeah, there was a little nitpick. There was just the white in me going, I wish I knew what they were saying.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, if there's no subtitles, then obviously it means it's not truly important. But like, if it was important, like Rey Mysterio does this a lot. Raquel Rodriguez does this from time to time. If it is important to the story,
they'll say it back in
English.
Yeah.
Like I said, Rey Mysterio is a master of doing that. Like he'll say something and then he'll revert back to English real quick. Except what he did on SmackDown.
Yes.
Because on SmackDown, he was literally calling his son a dick eater. I only know that because Issa did a whole translation box for everybody. She's like, here are the curse words you're going to hear throughout this weekend.
Amazing.
Yeah, he essentially called his son a dick eater, a dick licker, a butt licker, or something like that. Like all like back to back. That's why the crowd was going nuts for it. But essentially, the biggest pop of the night,
Carlito.
Fucking Lito.
It's fucking Carlito. I didn't know he was Puerto Rican. I knew he was Caribbean. Obviously, he's cool, but
Yeah.
I didn't know he was actually Puerto Rican. So I googled it.
Clearly is Puerto Rican by that pop.
Oh, and he is fucking ripped. He
Yeah.
is jacked to the gills, dude. Like, I always tell, whenever Carlito comes up, I always tell that story of how he was at a random indie show.
Yeah.
And I popped so hard, and then a few minutes later, Snitsky came on. I popped even harder. But Carlito came out, and like there was a fan video of this guy just losing it, pick up his daughter.
Did he pick up his baby and like going nuts?
Yeah, he picked up his baby. He was going nuts. And Dom getting the apple was just the greatest thing ever, dude. Like, I want Carlito to be like, I have one of Shelton Benjamin running, be active again, because he can still cut a promo. He's huge, and he looks great.
He looks better than he was when he was active.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks incredible. And yeah, the colognes, one of the best families in wrestling.
Yeah, you always forget that Carlito is actually a cologne.
He's a cologne.
Yeah.
Which is Puerto Rican wrestling.
Correct.
The colognes, Savio Vega, it's a Savio, but
yeah.
Mid-Carter for life.
Sabio's the godfather. And listen, I popped when it was Sabio, and I thought that was cool. But I popped harder when Sabio Vega came out in the vest.
Yes.
The vest did it for me. I was like, this is amazing.
His punches look terrible, but he's
that's
really old and it worked.
Listen, he's still a little flexible. He was still able to do that roundhouse.
He was able to do the roundhouse. I was very impressed.
I mean, you also had to give props to Finn doing the job for the Elder Statesman.
And
like
and Dom as well.
They sold really well for him.
Yeah, it was cartoony. It's still wrestling.
Yeah, it's still wrestling. It's great. I'm also surprised that that apple in Carlito's pants. Which, if you look at this picture, he's actually wearing pretty tight pants. How that thing didn't crush while he was running around.
Or at least like fall out of his junk.
Yeah, like it was crazy. And if you notice, I think he actually ate a little bit because he took 2 bites of the apple and held that for like a minute before he spit it in downstage.
He held it for a while.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then the LWO scene at the end, like Carlito is now a member of the LWO. Bad Bunny, they put the LWO logo next to him. Like that shirt might be the hottest selling shirt since Becky Lynch's The Man.
Yeah, dude, straight up, they literally had that picture right there.
Yeah, that should be the end.
That's the end of the show. Like I don't know what especially because the Brock Cody match has had a bad ending. Mm-hmm. But that this was the main event. I don't know what they were thinking.
I know, like from an overall perspective, what do you want? What's the main story of WWE, and in the particular of that premium live event was supposed to be Cody and Brock. That's what the story was supposed to be. But you added Bad Bunny and put him in Puerto Rico. And this is essentially a throwaway pay-per-view because the real premium live event is supposed to be Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. This is something you snuck in because you were able to fit it into your schedule. You could have given this to Bad Bunny.
Yeah, it was a glorified house show.
It was a brilliant house show. It was fucking brilliant.
It was a glorified overseas house show with a little more pomp and circumstance, which, honestly... It's like it's probably the best pay-per-view after WrestleMania ever, because most of them are pretty bad.
Most of them are horrible.
Like, think of when Austin won, his first feud was against Dude Love.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, you don't expect much change after a WrestleMania pay-per-view, because it's so close. Especially because you just kind of set things up, you're going to need kind of a little time to regroup.
Yeah.
And I think this is the perfect time to actually go to Puerto Rico, take a meaningless pay-per-view, make it mean something.
Yeah, make a crap ton of money, rebuild up those relationships with the country of Puerto Rico, because people tried to argue that Puerto Rico is not a country. It is a territory of the United States as well as a country.
Yeah, it's an independent territory of the United States.
Correct. So. Yeah, it's a territory and the country. It's the same thing. I mean, not the same thing, but they are 2 separate titles, but they also are kind of an equivalent to each other. Anyway, but you build up those relations again, and now they can come back and be like fucking gods.
Yeah.
Down there, they did a press conference on the beach, which was brilliant.
Yeah, Backlash at the beach. Yeah, Corey Graves said that.
Honestly,
Backlash at the beach.
I know. SummerSlam is one of your big ones, and you want to do stadiums for SummerSlam. But SummerSlam in Puerto Rico sounds amazing. I don't think they have the infrastructure for it. Like their biggest stadium needs some work, according to Issa. But if they could get it together and do SummerSlam in Puerto Rico, do you know how wild that would be?
Yeah. I do. I see this crowd.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. And like I said, you should have given us the Bad Bunny. It was the perfect send-off. And, I mean, you got to give props to Bad Bunny because, in my opinion, at this point, Bad Bunny is probably the greatest celebrity wrestler that we've ever had.
I don't know, man. Logan Paul's up there.
It's hard. I mean, the only way to settle this, and I talked about it, I think, with Sir Charles, you got to have Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Special guest referee Pat McAfee.
Yeah. I mean, it depends if you want to say, you could give the edge to Bad Bunny because he is the bigger celebrity, right? Like this motherfucker did 2 nights at Coachella, the Met Gala, and Backlash within like 3 weeks.
Yeah, he main evented both nights at Coachella.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know there is 2 nights at Coachella. There is there.
I found out this year that there were 2 nights at Coachella. Like that, his schedule is absolutely absurd, and props to him for going through with that brutal of a match with the schedule he had. Because after that, I'd be like, no, I'm fucking taking a nap. Like, I don't want to be in a fucking match.
Right.
But no, he did it, and it's props. I was joking, and I had this thought when watching the match. I was like, you know what would have made this even crazier? If Logan Paul showed up. And then I remembered, oh, wait, they're still in Puerto Rico. And Logan Paul attacking Bad Bunny. Logan Paul might actually die on TV if that actually happened.
Logan Paul also lives in Puerto Rico, and they probably know where he lives.
Yeah. I was about to say, yeah, there's a good thing Logan Paul was off of this, but I would have loved to have seen the Logan Paul Bad Bunny setup leading into SummerSlam, which is the next time they're actually going to show up in America for a premium live event. Because remember, folks, Puerto Rico, Saudi Arabia, the United Kingdom.
Money in the Banks in England.
Money in the Banks in England. And then you go to Detroit.
Yeah.
One of these things is not like the other.
And Logan Paul, to his credit, is very, very involved philanthropically, if I can't say that word right. Philanthropically in Puerto Rico. He's very involved in the community. He gives a lot of time and money and energy giving back to the island of Puerto Rico. And he doesn't like to publicize it because he wants to do it for the right reasons, not for publicity.
Fair enough. He also, is trying not to die.
That too.
Yeah.
That too.
I think
he is also taking advantage of tax breaks.
Yeah. He's trying to die. But, I mean, like, listen, folks. If we're going to get these international crowds for these premium live events, never come to America, except for maybe your bigger pay-per-views, where you have to fill a stadium.
Dude, I like that wrestling is going international, because...
They're finally putting the world in world wrestling.
Yeah, it makes for a much better show. Like, they'll always come back to New York, so I can always go. I also heard 2027 WrestleMania is in Nashville.
Jesus Christmas.
So we're going to have a hell of a time in Nashville, let me tell you. I don't care if I'm going to be 32 years old. It's going to be a hell of a fucking time.
But yeah, you know what? Because you know what it is? And this is clearly a direct... this is direct not a reaction. This is the influence of Nick Khan in the sports world and the influence of UFC. UFC has been doing this for a while, where their big events are all around the fucking world. So now that they're pretty much
in Brazil would be fucking nuts.
Exactly. But think about it. Now that they have all these partnerships, and that they're going to be building these partnerships, and they're going to be working in tandem with UFC because they're going to be under the same company.
Yeah.
You get those connections that UFC has. And UFC has shown that there are some bomb-ass stadiums all over the fucking world.
Yeah, did we talk about this last week? It was like UFC had a pay-per-view, I think, Sunday night, too, or Saturday night.
No, UFC had the same. It was Aljamain, because I watched it after...
the same
Backlash.
night?
Yeah. So UFC, so they might, because I was like, maybe it's going to be weird if WWE and UFC do something on the same night, but they kind of did it this night. And Backlash ended at around 11-ish. And the main card for UFC didn't start till 10.
Main card starts at 10. Main fight is until around midnight.
Exactly. And it was in Jersey. It was in The Rock.
Oh, it was in The Rock?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you really care to watch both, you can watch both.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're going to buy the pay-per-view, you want to watch the prelims, too, even though the prelims are free.
Yeah.
The prelims, I enjoy watching the prelims sometimes.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they do the scheduling once they actually become a real company. But just think of the possibilities. Like, I can picture WWE's schedule, because Triple H's like, we're going to go anywhere they fucking want us to go. Like, if somebody wants us, we'll talk to you. So clearly Puerto Rico was like, hey, come the fuck back. And it worked out really well. So, like...
Japan would be also awesome.
Japan, I think, is going to be really hard, because I think NJPW has a stronghold on that area.
Probably.
Then they're not willing to give it up.
Yeah, like, you want a Tokyo Dome? You can suck my dick.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's... Like, no way in hell is that happening. Yeah. But I can see them doing the UK, clearly, because NXT Europe's going to launch there. You're going to go back to Puerto Rico because you'd be stupid. They're probably going to hit up Australia again.
They could do Australia. Honestly, I don't know if they have a place to do it, but the island of Samoa would also be fucking nuts.
I don't think they have a place to do it.
I don't think they have like.
I would love it. I would love it to have the island of Samoa, and it'd be like Roman Reigns headlines in Samoa.
Yeah, I mean, it'd just be like the whole island would go.
That's right. My fault, Taquan. They did do Beast in the East, but Beast in the East was not in the Tokyo Dome. It was in kind of a really smaller event hall.
Now it's NXT.
No. Oh yeah, it was NXT. Yeah, it was NXT Beast in the East. Yeah, it's a little bit different. They got away with it. It's also because Brock was there too. Brock was in Beast in the East. It's when he beat all three members of a New Day in that. But like I said, WWE can really start going around the world.
My God, that's right. He did do that.
Yeah, he beat all three members of a New Day in one match.
I forgot about that.
That was a squash. That was the Brock part of his career where he was like, I'm just gonna show up and beat people and leave and make tons of money.
Yeah, wasn't that also like Samoa Joe or Shinsuke and Finn?
It was
NXT title?
Samoa and Finn, I believe.
For the NXT title?
Yeah.
Taquan Singh was the main roster show. I think you might be right.
Oh, it was KO Finn. It was KO Finn.
Okay.
Because I remember Finn beat KO, I think. Beast in the East was, yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna Google it.
It's on the network somewhere. But yeah, I would love to see WWE go to all the countries like Germany. Like they can branch out into Europe pretty crazy. Be interesting if they would ever do something on Africa.
All right, here's this card. So first of all, here's the dark matches: Cesaro versus Diego. Speaking of the clones.
One of the clones. Yep.
The dark match 2: Lucha Dragons, Kalisto and Sin Cara defeats the New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods.
That was a dark match?
That was a dark match. Chris Jericho defeated Neville by submission. That was the opening match.
I remember that match.
Nikki Bella defeated Tamina and Paige. Triple threat match for the Divas title.
Ooh.
Brock Lesnar defeated Kofi Kingston. Singles match. Finn Balor defeated Kevin Owens for the NXT Championship. Dolph Ziggler and John Cena defeated Kane and King Barrett in a tag match, the main event.
Jeez. All right. Damn. Okay, so maybe it was a main roster match. Maybe it was.
It was Demon Finn.
Yeah, it was Demon Finn because they gave him the streamers.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was a fun card. I remember being like, "Oh, I want to watch Beast of the East." Sorry. All right. Looking at some wrestling news. All right. Let's move on from this. So we do have to talk about the rest of this card. Cody and Brock was kind of a thing that happened. You know, it's really funny about Cody and Brock. Because we always make this joke that in all of Cody's big matches, he was going to bleed. But apparently Brock was taking the blood spot.
Yeah, Brock was like, I don't want Cody. I got this. I'll show you how to do it.
Listen, I mean, Brock hit that rope pretty hard. I felt like, oh, he bladed. I was like, no, he might have actually really cut himself.
No, I think that was legit. Cause you watched the replay back. The blood's there pretty quickly.
Yeah, he started leaking really, really quickly. Because there was, at no point was there a time for him to actually blade.
Yeah. And I was thinking, wow, I wonder why the ref isn't putting on gloves. I remember, oh yeah, it's Brock Lesnar. Probably just growl at him.
Sorry, Brock. It was good. The finish was interesting, especially because if you forget that Cody Rhodes is a state champion amateur wrestler, and Brock Lesnar is the greatest combat fighter of all time. So that pinning position reminds me of an amateur wrestling pin.
Yeah, here's the thing. I have no problem with the finish.
I have a problem with the placement of the match. That's about it.
That's fine. The problem with the match for me isn't the finish. It isn't kind of like, oh, that just happened. It's the fact that when he was bleeding, the camera wouldn't show it. Like, if you notice, when Brock hit the F5, his back was to the camera.
Really?
After he gets busted up, the camera was going out of their way not to show Brock's face. And a lot of the moves, they were kind of working backwards. So it's like, don't work towards the hard cam. Because that F5, Brock's back is to the camera, so they wouldn't show his face covered in blood. Which I understand, but it took away from the match.
But, it got to a point where you're still clearly going to see the blood. He was bleeding pretty heavily. I mean,
it's some things you can't avoid. When he's in a Kimura, right?
You're going to see it.
They couldn't avoid it. There was things they couldn't avoid, but they avoided it as much as possible. They wouldn't show Brock's face.
So that means
they would work around it.
That means it wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, I think it was. It's probably not that much. You know what I mean? It was. To be fair, it was a lot of blood.
Yeah, you know what it was? That reminds you of when they wanted to do the Brock and Randy spot.
Yeah.
And Brock's like, I can cut him pretty easily. And
I got elbows.
Randy started leaking. Leaking profusely because he hit a nerve.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, it was fine. I mean, obviously this is continuing on. Brock stopped Cody from advancing in the tournament. Thank the Lord. And I will tell you this. Brock is the scared. Did you see that Raw clip?
Yeah, I did.
When he grabbed the camera and said, "Look at me," I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh. Sable's either scared or wet.
Like, I think Brock has like a daughter, and I'd be scared for the first person to date Brock's daughter.
Yeah. She's probably gonna fuck you, bro.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So Brock Cody is continuing. If this is the way we're gonna do it, which I'm fine with. This is a good stopgap for Cody while Roman is clearly away doing just a well deserved vacation as
he's on that 4-month vacation he was promised last year.
as he moses his way into 1,000 days at Night of Champion. Moving on to the ECW One Night Stand match of the night, which was Bianca Belair in her John Cena ECW One Night Stand mode versus new fan favorite of Puerto Rico, Io Sky.
Yeah, what was this about?
I had to figure it out myself. Because in my head, I'm like, how do you boo Bianca?
Like, did Puerto Ricans just not like black chicks? Like, what is going on here?
No, a lot of them are black passing. There's a lot of African-American Puerto Ricans. I know a few of them. But I think the logic was they love Io because Io Sky's repertoire and the way she wrestles, she's just an Asian luchador.
It's true.
And I think, and like, the WWE, like, not the Puerto Rican crowd clearly aren't stupid. They know who she is. They've seen her work. And so that's the only logic I have for it. They put on a damn good performance. It's what, like, I was like, wow, how are we gonna top this to open up the card? Like, it was a damn good performance. I like the little subtlety of Io's about to break away from damage control. Thank the Lord. And Michael Cole really played it up. But everybody looked great. Bianca
Io ate a face plant though with that one arm press.
I was gonna say Bianca Belair had another amazing feat of strength. Like, she was holding a real human live, like a grown ass woman with one hand over her head, like it was nothing.
Then she dropped her.
You know what it was? I think they screwed up a timing because you saw Bianca was trying to move, and I think Io went too early.
Yeah.
And then so then you go and you kind of like want to stop yourself when it's too late.
The match was fine. Good finish. I like the ending.
Oh yeah, I did not think Bianca's hair was gonna hold up, that hair clip.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're really gonna break the fourth wall today, aren't we? With that hair, because it is gonna come. There is gonna be a time when that hair clip or that hair piece becomes like the center of a storyline. It's just a matter of who's gonna like cut Bianca's hair.
They almost did it with Bayley.
Yeah.
Before Bayley got hurt, because the storyline was her hair.
Because she couldn't use the hair as a weapon.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna cut it. I wouldn't cut it because it's her defining trait.
Fair.
See if John Cena got rid of the jean shorts.
I mean, we said the same thing about Bayley cutting her hair in the side ponytail, and it worked out. But that was also years down the road.
True.
But
I don't know. Bianca, a great match. I mean, Bianca's always put on pretty decent matches. A few botches here and there, like per usual, but she's kind of stale as a champion and as a character.
I don't think she's stale. I mean, everybody's kind of stale now because you're in a holding pattern until these new storylines get kicked off.
Yeah.
But I think the issue now is that I think Io's, in all of SmackDown, I think Io's the one that's going to take the title off of her. But I think the story now is Io has to get away from damage control for her to beat Bianca.
I think Bianca holds it for a little longer because she just broke a record.
Well,
right?
she is race notwithstanding the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era.
Yeah. So WWE's doing that a lot. Gunther, really long title reign, longest IC title reign of God knows how long.
The 21st century.
Yeah, I think Austin Theory is going to do the same thing. Obviously, the thing with Roman.
Yeah.
And the reason they're doing that is because when it comes to like title reigns and records, they want to get newer names in the record books.
It also makes their stars bigger stars.
Yes.
It's marketing. Well, no, it's brilliant marketing.
Yeah, it's marketing. It's exactly what it is. It's marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's smart. Like I like that every title is a long title reign. Like all of them. It means so much more. I think it's good storytelling. And
Taquan, I do want to answer you. Asuka's reign was 500 plus days, but they do not count NXT title reigns. Because if we did, we'd be talking about Pete Dunne's title reign and Kaylee Ray, now known as Alba Fire's title reigns, which were longer than Bianca's. Pete Dunne almost hit 1,000 days as NXT UK champion.
Yeah.
And then Gunther beat the shit out of him at TakeOver. And then Gunther almost went on like 1,000-day run.
He did.
You know,
but I think Bianca just needs some seasoning. She needs something else in her character because she's a star.
New. She needs something. She needs new. She needs actually. It's not the seasoning, but I think it's like it's the old adage: is you're only as good as the person you're dancing with.
Fair.
And Bianca had some great dance. Like she had Big Time Bex, which is a great partner for Bianca. Bailey, who is a fantastic heel, any which way you shake it. Who tanned really well. I will say that for Backlash. But I think she needs another person that can dance with her and maybe even carry her in a promo. But then again, Io can dance with her in the ring, but now the promo work's going to have to really be on Bianca unless they still keep shoehorn in Bailey to help move the story, which is what I think they're going to do.
I mean, her in-ring is fine. Her promos are better. But like, what has progressed and changed from her character since she won the title over a year ago?
She's kind
of the exact same.
Just the opponent, really.
Just the opponent. Yeah, I think that's a problem. You need something else to mold. Like, think of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has changed more since she dropped the title than Bianca has changed since winning the title.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. The counter is that when you find your character, you find your character. Like, we all kept saying John Cena should change, and he never did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you find your character, it just kind of like clicks. Like The Miz went through a really bad character change for a long time before it became like the A-lister, and that took him like a couple of like runs before he perfected the A-lister character.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue, I think the bigger issue with this is that in the men's storylines, there's always something that's creative, and you never see as much of you don't see that much diverse storytelling in the women's roster.
Yeah, we talk about this ad nauseum now.
I think that's what holds a lot of the women's characters back. There's not enough diverse storytelling that helps to shape characters. And that might be it, that you just need more female-oriented or just more diverse storytelling like you give the men. You know, I would love, like, for instance, I would love to see Lacey versus Bianca. On paper, you can write a great story for that. Because you have Bianca as the EST, blah, 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 and Lacey Evans like, I'm a fucking Marine.
Yeah.
You know? And Lacey doesn't respect Bianca because she's never done hard work. You know, things like that. Like, you can do a storyline with that, but you need people to back that and be creative with it. But I think, like, a Lacey Bianca storyline is great. The Io Bianca storyline is also great, but I think the issue is a little bit of a language barrier because Io can't really carry a promo just yet. And how do you create that story when only one person can really, like, communicate with the crowd?
Yeah, it's hard to carry a promo by yourself.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, congratulations to Bianca though, because, like, honestly, well deserved accolade.
Yeah, she's a mega star.
Yeah,
like, when she comes out, she just looks like a fucking star.
Yeah, she has.
That's always my first impression. Like,
she passes the test.
This girl is such a fucking star.
She passes the test, and she's one of those talents that never won the NXT title.
True. That is true.
One of the talents that just never won the title, and it's like her character was almost tailor made for the main roster. When it was NXT was just we need to get you where you need to go.
And she had a slow start too. She came up to the main roster for like 6 months, wasn't doing shit.
She did have a slow, and then she skyrocketed. It worked. So we'll see what go with there. She's still holding the Raw title on SmackDown because Rhea Ripley was still holding the SmackDown title on Raw, which is a travesty. Speaking of Rhea Ripley, honestly, feel good moment of the night. Zelina Vega, Rhea Ripley. The match was what it was. It wasn't a technical masterpiece, but
yeah, who gives a shit about the match?
Yeah, exactly. Zelina came out in the coolest country specific outfit I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. The crowd carried her through that match. Like, that was amazing to see. Like,
yeah, it's like how could you not
How could you not root for her? Yeah.
see that entrance and see her cry and just not have a smile on your face. Like it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And I said it last week. I wanted to watch her have that moment,
And she did.
And she did, and it was a great moment.
She did.
And I'm glad she got to have that.
Yeah, and especially when you think about again all the things she went through for her current run, like.
She's like, I wanted a union. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, she actually blocked us, the KOTR account.
Really? That's not nice.
Well, it's after she got fired, and we wrote that article. Or I wrote that article about why a union wouldn't work.
Yeah,
And she was the cover person of it. But no hard feelings, Selena. We do love you. It's interesting because Puerto Rico's her home country, but she is from Queens. So I think there was kind of this weird thing here where she finally felt like she was accepted by the people in her country.
Yeah.
You know, because there's always that stigma like, oh, you're not from Puerto Rico, you're not a real Puerto Rican. That happens in a lot of other cultures as well. But to see all of that, to have her family in the crowd and to have her use the chancla, which was amazing. The best part about that was also having Michael Cole trying to explain to an American audience what a chancla is was hysterical.
I didn't get it, but at the same time, I totally got it. Michael Cole's like, ask your Spanish friends if you got them, nerd.
Michael Cole was having a ball during this premium live event.
Him and Corey Graves are very, very good together.
Yeah. I still miss him and Pat McAfee, although Pat McAfee just had a kid, so I understand why he's not around right now. But him and Corey did work really, really well together. But to have her have this moment, she referenced after the match or the next day on social media that she did the 619 for Ray. She did
bad 619, but yes.
Listen. Ray just became her mentor, which in kayfabe and in real life, that's a great person to have mentors, Lena. And I don't know why they didn't do it freaking sooner. Like they're perfect. And then she did the Meteor for Alistair. She did hit a good Meteora. She's married to the guy who does the Meteor.
She did do a good that. They practiced that one in bed a few times. Hey, got him.
So no, it was really cool. I loved that WWE could have easily cut the feed and gone to some BS Peacock commercial towards the end, but they gave her the curtain call spot.
Yeah, they gave her the ring.
Yeah, they gave her the ring. And props to Rhea Ripley for keeping her composure.
Yeah, I was watching. It's like, how is this bitch still stonewalled?
Yeah, I was
gave
impressed.
Her nothing.
Yeah.
Like even Sasha had a moment when they were main. Well, I guess it was both of them. But,
that was bigger stakes, but I get it. Yeah.
Ice cold.
Ice cold. Which, I mean, Rhea deserves props as much as Alina did, but Rhea not flinching.
Yeah.
Like not flinching whatsoever throughout anything. Although I will say Rhea got out of there real quick, if you noticed.
Well, yeah, she had to give her the ring.
Yeah, she gave her the ring, and she got a well-deserved standing ovation from her home country, which is, if you can get moments like that for all these wrestlers, because WWE has an international group of performers. Like, imagine Gunther going back to, like, Germany, Austria. And, but I think that's pretty awesome. And shout out to Gunther. Gunther actually has not been around because he got married.
I did see that.
He married Ginny. And good for him. Good for him. And proud of Zelina.
She's hot.
You were there. You have a picture with Ginny.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah, fun stuff. She's Guyanese, I believe.
That's why. You knew it.
Yeah, they'll get you.
That they do.
Yeah, so I hope they do something with Zelina now. I mean, you have the LWO.
They won't. I mean, she's just going to be there
in the
LWO and fine. I mean, she's not that great of a wrestler, so whatever.
She's fine. She didn't do a bunch of moves. I mean, they were just going to give her this to give her this. But, like, listen, you have the LWO, which is pretty hot. You have Rey Mysterio in her corner now. I think she can have a run. She's not going to beat Rhea, and I think there are some people saying that she should have beat Rhea, but I was like, no. It's Rhea's,
no, you out of your fucking minds? She's won a title.
It's Rhea's first defense after an instant classic at WrestleMania with Charlotte. Like she wasn't going to win logically. No way that you could have spin, and I wouldn't even have called it on the fly. I don't care. Like Rhea has to win this. It does bet. It does well for both competitors if Rhea wins.
She had Poppy written on her ass. So of course she's gonna win. See Buddy Murphy's tweet. He's like, I got to touch it.
Did he? Oh, yeah, I did see that. But yeah, no. I want to see what they do with Zelina and the LWO. Like I said, the LWO is hot right now. Let's see how far they go with it. And let's see how much Zelina gets highlighted. And I hope they do, because she pretty much almost had a star-making performance, or they created a star-making performance. Because remember, this gets broadcasted out to the rest of the world. So now Zelina looks elevated.
Yeah, give her screen time. She definitely has no screen time. Is she going to get a title run or a big push? No. She's not that great of a wrestler. But
maybe no.
She's definitely be part of the LWO. She's great on the mic. She's a great manager.
Mm-hmm.
So play to your strengths, kid.
Yeah, I think she gets she gets put in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Sure.
I think she'd be a great one for the Money in the Bank briefcase. But we'll see what happens with that. We definitely will. Let's move on to Samoans fighting each other. Again, I love this picture of Willie or won't he? And the sad part about this 6-man tag was that compared to the rest of the card, this should have been on Raw.
It could have been on Raw
or SmackDown now, because they're on SmackDown now.
I mean, it was a good story though. The problem is when it went after Bad Bunny. That was the problem. With the match.
That was a huge issue.
The storytelling was fine, but then again, like they really slowed it down and let the crowd get their breath back by having 15 minutes of beating up Sami Zayn. So,
listen, Sami Zayn takes a great punch.
So it was smart, and the story continues, and it was still interesting and captivating. So
yeah,
I'm about it. And
we'll see what happens when Daddy Roman comes back.
Remember, I'm the big brother, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm supposed to kill you."
It's true, yeah. We'll see what happens when Daddy Roman comes back this Friday on SmackDown. Well, I will say this whole little mini feud did nothing for Matt Riddle.
Yeah, who cares?
At all. He took the pin too. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. They soured on you real quick.
Obviously, he took the pin, dude. Of course. I mean, he's not a tag champion.
Yeah.
I was surprised they lost though. The tag champs, that is.
It's not, well, the way you can spin is like they didn't lose. Riddle lost 4 of them.
True. But it's still part of the losing team, I should say.
Yeah. No, it was a little surprising. But if they don't win, then, I mean, if they win, then Roman pretty much dismantles the Usos. And you got to kind of the Usos needed a win to continue the story. The will they or won't they?
Yeah, they did.
So that's pretty much what it was. Moving on, big meaty men slapping meat. The triple threat was really fun. Bronson Reed essentially doing a springboard to the outside on Bobby Lashley was the scariest thing I've ever seen. I don't know how Bobby Lashley has an arm.
I forgot this match happened, to be honest.
There's a lot going on this paper. There's a lot going on this Backlash.
We got the finish backwards. Theory pinned the wrong person after the finisher was hit.
Listen, there was no way Theory was not going to walk out of here with the United States title. I'm just upset because we won't see Bronson Reed and Bobby anymore.
Yeah, it was just funny because Peter Roseberg called him the pre-show.
Did he?
This is the finish, guys.
It was obvious. You're in the middle of a rebrand, and let's talk about Seth Rollins doing what he does, make people famous. This is almost his best match. This again,
dude. They did it again. They do this to me every single time. Almost has match. I'm like, dude, he might actually win this one. I think he's gonna win this one, and then he doesn't. I mean, to his credit though, great seller. He's a very, very good seller. He's a really good bitch.
Yeah, this is another thing of like having a good opponent to dance with, and Brock almost was good for what it was. Brock's not the best seller, because sometimes when Brock's selling purposely because he kind of crazily over-exaggerates.
Yeah.
But Seth, I think, was the better opponent for Omos. It just wasn't a story behind it, but it looked great, and I loved how... Well, number one, I don't like how they're overkilling the Seth entrance, people singing his entrance thing. Like they did the same bit on Raw, and I was like, you should just save that for the premium live events. but I loved how Omos fucking kicked him out of nowhere.
Get out of here! Enough of this!
Out of nowhere, I was like, yes. And almost looked great. I like how Seth had to use essentially a super stomp to beat Omos.
Top rope,
yeah, which is great. I really thought they should have had Omos always kick out at one, which they almost did. They reminded me of, you ever hear that story about the Big Show would say about Austin when they were on a live event?
I think I know the story.
Where they were doing a tour together, and Big Show was kind of new, and so he Austin stunned him, and then during the pin he told Big Show kick out, and he kicked out, and they kept doing the same thing over and over again. The crowd kept eating it up.
Yeah, he kicks out of a stunner. No one kicks out of a stunner.
So I think that's this should be the forum about how to make Omos look a lot more competent, like Daquan said. Like, he no-sold a stomp, which was believable.
Yeah, but he lost.
Well, to a super stomp, so it is a little bit of protection. Like, Seth has never done a top rope stomp to anybody, because that would kill most people.
Omos has never won a match.
He beats jobbers.
That matters.
Very fair, but I think in this instance, this is addition, like he wins on a loss.
Does he though?
Listen, he keeps looking better on all these big events, and
he wins at a loss the first time. He might win at a loss a second time, but the third, fourth, fifth time, now you're just a joke.
So who's the person that he takes out, that he makes a statement against?
Dude, he lost to Braun Strowman. I don't think he takes out anybody.
When he lost to Braun, in the Saudi event?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was also a calamity of a meat slapping match, if I remember correctly.
Dude, he should have beat Braun Strowman. Like, losing to Brock, obviously. Losing to Seth, fine. Losing to, who did he lose to last? AJ Styles, bizarre, but okay.
Did he lose to Styles? Well, no, but that was after the breakup.
After the breakup.
That made sense.
He should have beat AJ. He should have beat Braun. I don't remember who else he had matches with, but he's lost every single one of them.
Oh, no, Taquan, he did beat AJ.
Did he beat AJ?
He did beat AJ.
See? Did nothing for him. I don't even remember it.
AJ also hasn't been around in almost 6 months.
Yeah. But the guy. There's only so much winning through losing you can do before you're just a loser.
I mean, Braun Strowman lost a lot of the time too, and then he went on a run.
Yeah, because Roman got sick. Or Roman didn't want to get sick.
But it takes time. It takes time, and I think Omos will be fine. Like I said, he keeps getting better. Now the question is, who does he beat that starts to bring him back on the turn? Because he doesn't have a brand right now. He's technically a free agent, so that protects him a little bit.
A little bit, but at this point, it's like, who cares who he beats? Dolph Ziggler, cool.
Everybody beats Dolph. Well, no,
Dolph. That's what I mean.
I was saying no, Dolph's not the entry person. It's him beating Corbin would be interesting.
Like, if he goes against Bobby Lashley and beats Bobby Lashley, like, okay.
Yeah. No. Well, no, he lost to Bobby. That was at WrestleMania. Did he hurt lock Bobby?
The year before?
Dallas.
That's right. He did lose to Bobby Lashley.
That was Dallas. That was Dallas.
So he lost to Bobby Lashley too. Like, who's left for him to lose to?
Nobody.
Because I agree with you. He does look better. He's good at selling. I think there's something there. There was.
He beat Bobby at Backlash afterwards.
There is something in there that made me go, I think this guy's gonna win, and then he doesn't. But it's just like, okay, well.
When do you pull the trigger on?
When do you pull the trigger on him? Because I agree with you. He's got something there, but there's only so much I can pretend to care.
He should beat up Indus Sher for a little bit, which is Jinder Mahal, Veer Mahan, and Sango, who you haven't met. Those are three giant men. I think you got to start there. I want him to beat up Indus Sher.
Did he fight Baba Booey?
Who's Baba Booey?
Babatunde, whatever the hell his name is, General Aziz, whatever he was, Apollo.
No. No, they never faced off.
How about Cain Velasquez? Can he fight Cain Velasquez?
Isn't Cain Velasquez in jail?
Cain Velasquez might be going to jail forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Cain Velasquez is in jail. I can see Omos in the Money in the Bank, because there's always one random big man in Money in the Bank.
All right. Okay, here's what I wouldn't mind, actually, for real, though.
What?
I wouldn't mind Omos versus Tyson Fury.
That'd be great. That would be great.
Or Goldberg, even.
Omos officially retires Goldberg.
I'd be fine with that. I'll become the biggest Goldberg. I'll become the biggest Omos fan. I'll be officially an homosexual. What the fuck?
Homo sapien.
Homo sapien.
Beats Goldberg, puts him out of his misery. Can you imagine if I want him to jackhammer Goldberg?
God, please. I want him to kick him in the head and concuss him.
Just pull a Bret Hart.
Yeah.
It's possible. We'll see what happens. Let's move on. So, WWE before Backlash on Friday announced that they were going to have a tournament to crown the new World Heavyweight Championship, which, by the way, pre-orders of the belt are online and they're live right now in the shop. And I had real issues with how they set up the tournament.
Yeah, me too.
So Triple H announces at the Backlash press conference the Friday before Backlash that there's going to be a World Championship tournament. And Roman, he said Roman is still going to be the WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion or whatever on SmackDown. And this title is going to be just for Raw. However, the tournament is going to be made up of superstars across Raw and SmackDown. And immediately I'm like, why?
Yeah, I wonder who's going to win this one. Probably a guy from, I don't know, Raw.
So the way he sets this up is that there are going to be 2 triple threat matches on both shows. The winners of those 2 triple threat matches will face off in the main event of their respective show. The winner of the main event will go on to represent their brand at the finals in Night of Champions to crown a new world champion. So theoretically, the logic is if you win the world title, you go to Raw if you're a SmackDown person. And it still doesn't make sense to me because you just had a draft. And Raw is the bigger roster of superstars. Just make it a whole Raw tournament and leave SmackDown alone. And my business thinking here is that they want to create the illusion that this title is equal to Roman's. So they're going to have every major superstar that they can think of fight for this and just kind of advertise it across both brands. It's going to bring more eyes to the products when Night of Champions happens. I think that's the business logic, because kayfabe, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I think I think WWE thinks their audience is as stupid as they think they are.
It was just bad timing.
I feel like even a kid, like a 9-year-old, would be like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like if they would have said, hey, we're going to have this tournament and then we'll have the draft, it would have made more sense.
Yeah, I feel like it's just bad timing with the draft again.
Yeah.
Like they always just, I don't understand why they do the draft, and it's like, oh, this takes place in 3 weeks though. It's like, well, why not do it in 3 weeks then?
Yeah,
well,
but it matters. I mean, I have my things about the draft. I think the draft should be an actual television special, full NFL draft mode. Yeah. That's just me. Be it as it may, brands aside, this is a great bracket. If this is going to be
a great bracket.
If this was a traditional
Seth
tournament,
is going to be a great match.
If this is a traditional tournament, this would be a great bracket because you have on the Raw side Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, and The Miz, Shinsuke, Seth, and Damian Priest, who, say what you want, earned his way after his performance with Bad Bunny. I would have put him in a triple threat too. Screw it.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
no, I agree. He carried Bad Bunny through that match. That absolutely put him in there.
Yeah, on the SmackDown side, you have AJ Styles, Edge, Rey Mysterio, which is one match which I will tune into SmackDown just for that.
It's a hell of a match.
Yeah.
That's a great match.
And then the other triple threat, you have Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, and Sheamus. Again, another match where Austin Theory is probably going to weasel his way in because Sheamus and Bobby will probably kill each other.
I don't know, dude. I want to... Here's the thing. If Edge or AJ win that match, I want to see those two against all 3 of those other guys.
Really?
I think AJ Bobby, AJ Theory, AJ Sheamus is a great match. Edge Theory, Edge Bobby, and Edge Sheamus is a great match.
I agree.
So, as long as Ray doesn't win, we're good.
So obviously we know that after seeing Raw, Seth Rollins beat all the odds, including Shinsuke Nakamura, unfortunately, and beat Finn Balor, and he finally got his receipt from SummerSlam from Finn, which I thought was really funny.
I saw that meme too. I thought that was pretty funny. I couldn't believe that was the first time they touched, though, since that incident.
I mean, Seth had a really bad track record for a while. He went from separating Finn's shoulder to almost retiring Sting.
And then almost being retired himself with that knee injury.
Yeah. And so Seth had a poor run. So Seth wins. He's going to go on to represent Raw at Night of Champions for the World Heavyweight Championship Finals. The big question is, who does he go up against?
I think it's AJ. I think that's the match. That's the match we haven't seen yet.
Seth AJ is great. Because when you think about this, you want to have somebody that Seth can really work and go with. AJ's a great choice. Seth and Edge.
We've seen Seth and Edge. Here's the thing: we've seen Seth and everybody else.
Seth and Edge and Hell in a Cell was great.
We've seen Seth and Edge. We've seen Seth and Theory. We've seen Seth and Bobby. We haven't seen Seth and Sheamus.
And we saw Seth and Ray when Seth was Messiah.
Yes. So I wouldn't mind Sheamus, but I think it's AJ. That's a dream match, and it's a great match.
I don't think they've really touched.
Yeah.
I think Seth AJ is great because AJ at this point in his career can take a loss and it doesn't fucking matter to him.
Yeah, I mean he's back and he's on SmackDown with his boys.
And he's fresh.
So yeah, he's fresh.
And honestly, looking at this looks like a new form of the SmackDown 6.
Those 6 right there.
Yeah.
Well, who else is on SmackDown?
Roman.
Well, I know Roman, but you gotta swap out Ray with someone else who's younger. Put Solo in there instead of Ray.
Nah, I think you got to keep Ray in.
Maybe take Edge out because the thing of SmackDown 6 was there a bunch of young guys, right?
Okay.
I think.
There are a bunch of young guys trying to prove themselves.
Who was the original 6? It was Eddie,
Edge, Ray,
Benoit.
Chavo, I believe.
He was part of the SmackDown 6. Are you sure?
I'm almost positive. I can look it up right now.
Yeah, I'll give it a Google.
Yeah, I want to say because Heyman was a part of them too as well. The SmackDown 6.
Maybe Kurt Angle.
It was Kurt, I believe. Eddie, Ray, Chavo, Kurt, Benoit, and Edge. Yeah, it was Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Chavo. Yeah.
Yeah, Chavo was a part of it.
Poor Chavo.
Ooh, Chavo. Kerwin White being mad that we keep using Guerrero. Calm it down, Chavo. Goodness gracious. No, but I like it. But but outside of the Bloodline, who are the 6 hotter superstars on that brand for SmackDown?
I guess it would be these 6.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could put Rhea in there.
That would be a wrinkle. Okay, I agree with that.
And Judgment Day on Raw? No, Rhea's on Raw.
Rhea's on Raw.
Sorry.
Oh, Bianca.
Instead of Rhea. Bianca instead of Rhea.
Yeah. Yeah, they just have to switch those damn titles, which I don't know how the fuck they're going to do that because they haven't done it yet.
Well, draft hasn't taken place. It hasn't put in effect yet.
No,
well, started Monday. It started on Monday.
Yeah, the draft started on Monday. Yeah, so that'd be interesting. Or you can put the Street Profits in there, or at least Montez, because Montez would be a perfect new version of the SmackDown 6.
Yeah, if you took out Ray, took out Edge, and put in Bianca and Montez, I think that's a good 6.
Fair.
You got young talent, you got the veterans. You got Edge. I got AJ, Bobby, and Sheamus as the veterans, and Theory, Bianca, and Montez as the young blood.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I would love to see Seth, Bobby, because they loved Bobby in Saudi. AJ Styles has done a Saudi match. I don't know if he'll do one again. Edge, I don't think will go. I mean, he went before, but I think your best bet. Although I would love to see Seth and Edge, like you said, we did see it before. You sold me on Seth and AJ.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. So.
Yeah, and it'll be, for lack of a better term,
it's just AJ versus a taller AJ.
a less phenomenal AJ.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we can give Seth the title, and then he can stop complaining because he'll be able to main event a night of WrestleMania. So he can stop complaining, and he can get over that hump.
God, you're so right.
It's like that's his biggest gripe. That's Kobe's biggest gripe, is that he never truly.
Come on, guys! I want to main event WrestleMania.
I mean, we gave you the Money in the Bank, and you were essentially the lasting image of that WrestleMania. Like, what more do you want?
Yeah, right. It's like, dude, the pyro went off with you holding the title. Shut up.
Yeah. That is true. This is the shut the fuck up subtitle. That's a true statement. Guys, I want a belt too. Roman can't have all the belts. That's probably what the argument was.
Sharing is caring, guys.
Guys, I want a belt. My wife can't have all the belts. She keeps making fun of me. That's what it is. That's what it is. Listen, I'm happy if Seth gets this. He's going to be a great inaugural champion. We'll see how the rest of this card plays out. Because Seth's going to have a lot of people to work with.
You know, deep down though, he knows he's a paper champion.
Yeah, he does. He knows. That's why he's going to try his hardest to make it legit. Because you do know, down the road, we are going to get Seth versus Roman, like a champion versus champion shindig.
God, I want Roman to have all 3 titles.
You know what? If I'm writing that story, I want Roman's like, no, I'm just going to beat you for your title. Like, we're not putting my titles on the line. We're putting your title on the line.
You want my titles? Well, guess what, Seth? They're not even on the line.
That's good. You got the eye roll and everything.
Title? Nah.
That's it. That's the one. Yep. Yeah. Oh, it'll be fantastic. Yeah. The thought of Roman having 3 titles, because Roman technically still has 2, and we'll see how he shows up on SmackDown. Roman has two titles to Seth's 1. It's going to look real bad for Seth, no matter how good that match is.
Dude, Roman might go another year as champion. I'm just saying that.
It's possible.
He might go to next year's WrestleMania as champion, which, wow.
Honestly, when you think about it, and I thought about it, Philadelphia is a city of an underdog. Perfect time for Roman to lose.
That is true. He's going to lose to Tommy Dreamer. The ultimate underdog.
Tommy Dreamer.
Can you imagine?
That'd be the most ECW ending ever. Paul Heyman counts the 3 count again.
Oh my God! Here comes Raven.
WrestleMania is out of a 2,300 arena. The WrestleMania main event is it's the ECW arena.
The ECW arena.
Oh my God! What a match! If NXT was smart, and I know we're future booking Philadelphia weekend. If NXT was smart, they would do NXT in the ECW arena.
I'm sure they don't have anything else going on that weekend. So I'm sure the venue will be available.
It's just like NXT Extreme Rules from the ECW arena. But we can fantasy book all we want. Let's get the fuck out of here. We are done. There's nothing else for us to talk about this week. We are completely finished. Exciting show. That's right, NXT One Night Stand. Good job, Daquan. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 340. It's been 340 official episodes of Mr. Bunny Hop. I've been your host, King Ricky Rose. Find me at Ambassador Biggs at some point down the road. BIGZ Ambassador Biggs across all social media outlets. Find Kings of the Rings podcast at KOTR _podcast across all social media. Like, share, subscribe. Leave us some amazing 5-star reviews. And if you're listening to us, make sure you're listening to us on Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast, and follow Wrestle Addict Radio's social media at Addict_Wrestle on Twitter and Wrestle Addict Radio across all other social media outlets. When we come back next week, Kay should be done moving. We're going to talk about something ridiculous going on. We haven't had a Tony Khan announcement in a while, and that's kind of concerning, although they have been doing well selling out Wembley Stadium. But we'll talk about that when it gets a little bit closer. Real terror shot.
I am glad that it's selling at Wembley Stadium. It's a good state for wrestling. I'm always rooting for wrestling, good wrestling, and more wrestling out there. But my name is Will Tarashuk, T as in Thomas, ARASHUK. Tomorrow, my dreams all come true when I am on the Apron Bump COD podcast, along with my compatriot, Kay Murphy, talking about 1996 ECW.
Speaking of ECW.
My time has arrived. I'm going to go on a rant for 25 minutes on Shane Douglas being the best heel of 1996. I can't fucking wait. These guys have no idea what they're getting themselves into, having me talk about ECW 1996, the best year in ECW history. I can't wait.
Wheeler Yuta, I don't know what you got yourself into. There's a reason I am not on that show tomorrow. It's going to be Kay and Will getting in all of our ECW glory. So when we come back next week, like I said, Tony Khan's probably going to have a big announcement. He might name a new title. Roman Reigns will probably still have 2 titles, and 6 guys on SmackDown are going to be fighting for a title, but they're going to lose in a couple weeks anyway. So until then, folks, goodbye, good night. We will see you again very, very soon. Oh, yeah, happy birthday, Mom. Your birthday's tomorrow. Yeah, happy birthday, Mom. Happy Mother's Day to all people who are celebrating Mother's Day and all that fun stuff. And, yeah, fuck you, Slack. Yeah.
Not your mom, though. Your mom's cool.
Have you ever met Slack's mom? We haven't, right?
No, but his dad's birthday was the other day.
Oh, happy birthday, Slack's dad. We'll see you soon.
Midnight music.
All right.
How'd you know it was Slack's dad's birthday?
I saw it on Facebook.
Oh. Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
Slack and I
Dad.
are actually friends on Facebook.
I think I finally became friends with him, too. I think.
He posts some really funny memes, not gonna lie.
Every
Every now and then I'll be like, oh, it sucked. That was a good one. I'll like it. All right. Find a good Am I the Asshole? I will be right back.
I'm going to be searching.
Yeah, stall for me.
Yeah, that's fine. I can talk about Guardians with Taquan because I did see it this weekend. I don't know. Where do you want to start with talking about Guardians? We can do a spoiler. It's been over a week. I don't care at this point. But I enjoyed it. I think it was a good send-off for James Gunn. A lot of good fake-outs with potentials of people dying. Adam Warlock was hysterical. Good little comedy bit for right now. High Evolutionary was a fucking badass. I will tell you that. Those are my initial thoughts. Where they go from here, it's going to be really interesting, but they did set up a lot for the future. So what are your thoughts on it, Taquan, as I look for an Am I the Asshole bit for this week? See what I can figure out. Because Taquan, you did see Guardians 3, correct? Because I know Fretz probably hasn't yet. But Guardians 3, really great. By the way, if you're new to this, welcome to our Tip of the Crown post show, where you see a bunch of different random memes that have been curated by myself and a little bit of Fretz as well from this week in the world of wrestling. It's going to be a lot of funny different memes as we talk about some really interesting things for Am I the Asshole. We started doing this about, I'd say, a month or so ago. And it's kind of stuck.
Slick Rick, who are we getting mad at tonight?
Ooh, great. I like this. Found one as soon as you pop back in as I was pontificating about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I've heard very good things and it was okay.
I thought it was a good send-off. It's a good conclusion to the conclusion. High Evolutionary over Kang, that's a bold statement, but I almost agree with you on that, Taquan. Rocco was the MVP, Rocco was the MVP. I did feel for a fucking CGI raccoon, yeah. This will make you feel bad, because there's a lot of, in Guardians 3, there's a lot of implied animal cruelty.
Aw.
Yeah.
I heard they kind of have, Rocket's backstory, right?
Mm-hmm, for the most part. Yeah, it was a solid film. I think overall it was a solid film. The Gamora piece was interesting as well. All right, so I found one as soon as you came back in. So you ready for this? Speaking of birthdays.
Yes, do it.
Am I the asshole for choosing to celebrate my sister's birthday instead of my dad's wedding?
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. I'm going to read it right now. I, 27 male, have always been close with my younger sister, Mary, who's 20 and a female. Mary has been overlooked by my dad from the moment she was born. My dad never wanted a daughter, and tensions with his ex-wife, Mary's mom, led to him basically excluding her from everything. Nothing she ever does is good enough for him, and she is often excluded from family gatherings. I always try my best to include her or even take her out, just 2 of us, to make her feel better, but it's obvious that being excluded hurts her a lot. I am my dad's golden child and grew up spoiled, and while she tries not to show it, I can tell Mary is jealous of the attention my dad gives me. A month from now is Mary's 21st birthday. She's very excited about it. I live in a different state, but I made a promise to fly over on her birthday so that I could take her to get her first drink. We've been planning this for months, and I already got the tickets. My dad, who's 56 in the male, is currently engaged to Janice, who's 57 in the female, and a few days ago he texted me, letting me know that their wedding plans changed and they plan to get married in her parents' yard on June 8th. He said he knew it was short notice, but they agreed that a small ceremony would be better so they could go to the beach for their honeymoon while it was still nice. Now, my problem isn't with short notice. My problem is that June 8th just so happens to be Mary's birthday. Like, not even a day before or later. No, he plans to get married on his daughter's birthday. I brought that up, and my dad brushed it off, saying it's just a date, and it wasn't like my sister was going to celebrate her birthday with us anyways. I told my dad I already had plans to fly down to celebrate Mary's birthday with her, and I wouldn't be able to make both events. He seemed shocked by this and asked why I didn't just cancel for his wedding, since I'm already paying to come down. I could even bring Mary along and celebrate her there if it meant that much to me. I'll admit, this pissed me off because the least he could do was acknowledge his daughter's birthday. I told my dad that I plan to spend my day with Mary, and the only way I will come to his wedding is if she is invited and decides to go. He tried to argue with me, saying that birthdays come every year and weddings don't, to which I responded that this is his third wedding, so it's not that special, but my sister turning 21 is. My dad hasn't spoken to me since then, but Janice and the other family have been calling and texting me nonstop. Janice told me that my dad has been crying and miserable over what I said, and that my selfishness has ruined their wedding. I'll admit that what I said may be harsh, but I also stand by it. I am not the one being selfish here, and if my dad wants his child at his wedding so badly, he can have all or nothing. However, my dad and family are still mad at me, saying that I'm being petty and ruining his big day. So, am I the asshole?
Well, yeah, but then again, so is your dad. Like, all of you are assholes. All of you are children, need to grow up and figure this shit out.
I don't think he is the asshole, because like, if you're
like, don't have your wedding on your daughter's birthday.
That's my thing. Like, you knew when your daughter's birthday was. Like, you were aware. No matter if she's like the black sheep or not, you knew when your fucking daughter's birthday was. And you didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I go by. Like, you knew and you just didn't care.
Yeah. I agree.
You know, and because it was you over your daughter, and I am strongly against that.
Yeah. But also it's like your family has issues that you guys both need to work them out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, both of y'all being pretty immature right now.
So, and all, yes, therapy would be correct. But yeah, but it's also the fact that, like, it sounds like a shotgun wedding. You know?
Yeah, it's also a little true.
It's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing in 2 weeks? We're going to get married.
We're getting married. You are? Why? I don't know.
It's my third one. Three's a charm, right?
That's what they say.
You know, so it does seem like a Ric Flair wedding. You are very correct to go on. It does seem like a Ric Flair wedding. It's weird, but yeah, like, he already made these plans, and I'm sorry, the plans were made.
Yeah, I mean, if I were her, I'd probably also do the birthday, but I'd be fine being that asshole. It sounds like you're fine being an asshole. If you're fine being an asshole, don't ask if you're an asshole.
Yeah, and like 21st birthdays are a big deal. More so, I think more so for men than for women, but I don't know.
That's a great question.
I know for me, turning 21 was a big deal.
I mean, my 21st birthday was kind of like, yeah, I'm still drinking.
I've been drinking anyways.
Yeah, right. Like, I was in a frat, dude. It wasn't much of a difference.
No, I understand that. No, for me, down in Towson, where the bar scene up there was strict 21 plus, like sometimes undercovers were the bouncers.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very yeah.
Oh. Wow, what a sting.
So it was very hard to get in there. So, like, turning 21 down there, being actually legally able to go to a bar was a big deal for all of us.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get in trouble anymore.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
So I don't know what her situation's like. So yeah, for me, it's just like 21 was a big deal. So I get to frolic around uptown and not get in trouble for it and be a drunk mess. And I literally never left for the next like 2 years.
Sounds all right. Math checks out.
What's up?
Math checks out.
Yeah. 1.5 years, 2 years for the most part. I lived uptown. I loved fucking going there. Especially because we had a... So picture this, drunk Will. Drunk College will. Picture this. So you have a slew of bars bigger than the Hofstra Strip. Number one, these bars are no cover anywhere you go.
Dude, I forgot the Hofstra bars had a cover.
Hofstra bars have a cover.
That's a very Long Island thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so no cover anywhere you go. There's about like 5 to 6 bars in a 2-block radius, maybe 8 actually, if I'm being generous, and also depending on the night what's popping or not. So, although the nightlife, because it's Baltimore County, the nightlife ends at 2:00 on the dot. Like all the bars have to be closed by 2. At the top of the strip is a hot dog stand.
Oh.
Okay, it's a hot dog stand. The legend of this is that the guy doing the hot dog stand, who was, I forgot his name, was like a Towson dropout, and then he did this hot dog stand and became famous. So this hot dog stand was so makeshift. He made fresh hot dogs, but the menu was great. You can either get a hot dog or like a spicy Italian sausage, and the menu of condiments were colors. Because you're drunk.
Oh, right.
Let me get a hot dog with lettuce. Let me get a hot dog with ketchup. And then he also had a pit bull named Cuervo who would be fed because drunk chicks were like, "Oh my god, dog, have something."
No, don't touch it. It's a pit bull.
No, Cuervo was the nicest fucking dog in the world. Motherfucker was a moocher and a half.
We had Boots. The fraternity dog was Boots, was also a pit.
Yeah, so you have that at the end of the night, and then also down the block is a pizza shop named Pisons, run by a guy named Johnny Pisons, who's from Brooklyn.
Of course.
Who also sold beer in his establishment as well. Okay. On your way down to Pisons, there's a 24-hour Subway. And also a Philly cheesesteak shop that was open till like 3 in the morning. Those were all of the options we had after being uptown in Towson and being shit-faced.
Yeah, we had campus pizza.
Yeah, we had more.
Which gave everyone food poisoning but me.
Yeah, our scene was just absolutely wild. And the best, well, ours is in walking distance too. But ours is a little bit more uphill. So, like I said, turning 21 was a big deal. And it was like another world, being uptown at the bars and shit like that. Taquan, shut up, you do drink. Don't even try that shit. I know, Taquan, you go to a school in Florida, you're drinking.
Yeah, Taquan, if you don't listen to the show drunk, I can't explain your comment section.
Wait, what? Interesting. This seems pretty self-explanatory, but we'll see. Alright, so you ready for this one, Will?
Yes, please.
Am I the asshole for calling the cops on my neighbor after they took a package off of my porch?
No. Yeah, that's theft.
Let's see what I want to see what this is. It says, all right, so I, a 38 female, live alone in the house I grew up in. It was left to me by my mother after she passed away 10 years ago. Lucky. About 4 years ago, a couple about my age moved in next door, and we've pretty much been at odds since day one. There have been numerous times and issues that we've disagreed on. I have 3 cats. Well, when you live alone, you probably have cats. That I sometimes let out into my backyard. My neighbors have a dog that would jump the 5-foot chain link fence separating our yards to chase my cats.
Gee, that's aggressive.
Yeah. I told my neighbors if I caught their dog doing it again, I would call the cops. They actually had the audacity to ask if I would be willing to split the cost of a taller privacy fence instead of, training your dog not to jump the fence. That's a solution.
I mean, the cop's also going to just shoot the dog.
That's also as well, yeah.
That's another solution.
Yeah. Obviously, I refused as I wasn't the one causing the problem, and the fence is technically on their property anyway. I always wondered about that. Like, if you have a fence dividing property, who owns the fence?
It depends. So this is an issue my parents had. So
yeah,
it depends where the fence is built, because technically the fence needs to be on your property.
Yeah.
Like, because it's zoning laws.
Correct.
But with us, the problem was which side gets the flat side and which side gets the side with like the bars in it. So there's two sides of a fence.
Yeah.
So that was something you got to work out between the neighbors. But whose responsibility is the fence? It depends where the fence is, literally, because you can't put it in between. It needs to be on one or the other.
Yeah.
And whoever installs the fence is responsible for the fence.
Huh. Interesting.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah.
Because you gotta get the permits from the town too.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so long story short, they ended up putting in a taller fence. There you go. Then they asked me to split the cost of taking down an ash tree that was on their property. It had become infested with some bug that killed the tree, and dead limbs were falling on their driveway. They had the city come out and the survey guy said the tree was actually about 10% on my property. I told them the tree was theirs, and if they want it down, they'll have to pay for it because I don't have a problem with it. Needless to say, we're not friends. They've also thrown some loud late-night parties that included bonfires and loud music, but I had to call the cops for as well. I'm currently out of town visiting family for a couple of weeks. I have a friend who comes over to my house every day to check on my cats and check for mail and packages. I have medication for my cats that are delivered regularly. I got a notification the other day that some packages were delivered, so I texted my friend to let them know. But before my friend could get there, I got a notification from my Ring doorbell, always catching people. I pulled up the live feed and saw my neighbor on my patio. I asked him what he was doing, and he said a package of theirs got delivered to my house by mistake, so he was just grabbing it. I told him to leave and that my friend would bring over his package when she comes over. He said he's not waiting for that and tried to leave. I told him if he takes the package from my porch, I'm calling the cops. He shoved the package in front of the camera and said, "That's my name and address. I'm taking my package." Then he walked away, so I called the police and told them that he stole the package from me and I have video proof. They said they would investigate. When my friend got there a little later, the police were talking to my neighbors. The police must have left while she was checking on my cats because when she went to leave, it was just my neighbors outside. My husband yelled at her to tell me that I'm a huge asshole and that I need to take the police off speed dial and let them deal with more important shit instead of using them as my own personal problem-solving service. Am I the asshole?
Yeah.
If it was truly their package...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he put it in the camera and said, "Hey, this is my package. You can go fuck yourself, lady." I don't care how much of an asshole this person is. Like, if you're calling the police on someone taking their package, you're an asshole.
Yeah. Like, you having their package and having your friend potentially take it is a federal offense. You can't steal someone else's mail.
Yeah. Your friend can't pick up the package or bring it over to them legally. I'm using that in air quotes. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really theft if you steal it and then give it back to them. But like, technically, yeah, you're not supposed to take someone else's mail and even deliver it to them.
Yeah, like that's happened to me multiple times where like my package will be delivered to the wrong place and I'll go and fucking get it.
Yeah.
you know?
Let's go get it.
Yeah. It's problem solved.
You and your neighbors don't get along.
Yeah.
This woman, I want to hear the neighbor's perspective. What they think of, what has this woman done? Because, like, this woman is 38, not married, and has 3 cats.
But she has a home. She doesn't have to pay for, essentially.
I mean, that's nice.
That is very nice.
But I mean, there's definitely something not desirable about this woman.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I mean, your neighbor is an asshole, could be an asshole for different reasons, but in this particular circumstance, based off this particular prompt, yes, lady, you are the asshole.
Yeah, well, very, very misleading prompt, by the way.
Yeah, very misleading prompt.
Because I was surprised, because sometimes the ones that I choose, they are marked already, like it's already been decided by the community.
Yes.
Asshole. Yeah.
98% of people think you're
an asshole.
Including your mother. Oh, yeah, no, she's dead. Including your father.
Yeah. Okay, no, let's not do that one. Let's do another one. Whew.
God, it's the first time this season the Yankees swept. Isn't that fucking nuts?
Oh my god. Oh, there's so you can have a judgment of it says you're the asshole, not the asshole. There's another judgment that says everyone sucks. So I just found one that says everyone sucks, and we're gonna read it.
Hell yeah. That's what's in the first one. The first one and kind of the second one. Everyone sucks.
Yeah. So this one says, am I the asshole for letting my wife walk to the car in the dark? Wow. Okay.
Ooh, I need more context. I definitely need context.
Okay, it says, my wife, 32 female, and I, 36 male, went to catch a friend's band the other night. We'd been planning to grab food beforehand, but we're running a little late and stopped by a restaurant/bar near the venue. We parked about 2 blocks away, about a 5-minute walk. It was about 8:15 p.m. and dark out in one of the busiest downtown parts of our city. When we got there, my wife realized that she'd forgotten her prescription glasses. Sparing with details, her eyes bother her occasionally to the point where she has trouble seeing, especially at night. It's hard for her to manage when she doesn't have her glasses, and when it's flaring up, she can only see when she closes one eye without them. That's really bad. We discussed a couple of options to get them, like going to the car after we ate and cutting it a little close to see our friends before the show started, going to the venue to see our friend first, then going to get her glasses, and her just running to the car while we were waiting for our food. The last one was her suggestion, and after we ordered, she asked for my keys and went to the car. She mentioned that it was a little sketchy later that night. There was a person experiencing homelessness, and I remember thinking, damn it, I should have gone to the car for her, though I don't think I said it out loud. Fast forward 4 days, and apparently she's been stewing over this because we got into an argument this morning where she said she wished I'd be more considerate and brought up what happened the other night.
Oh, classic women.
I asked what she meant, and she said that I should have offered to walk her to the car for her. In retrospect, I think she was dropping hints before she left the table that she didn't want to walk to the car, and I could have picked up on them, and the walk is a little sketchy. It's mostly a relatively well-lit alleyway behind the main strip of bars, except it's pretty dark right by where we parked. That's just bad parking. And it's off of a busy part of the area. Again, know where you're parking your fucking car. Still somewhat a high level of foot car traffic, but I acknowledge what I should have done better, and told her as such. I also asked if in the future she could just tell me what she needs in these times.
Yes. Tell me what you want. Like, don't play this hint bullshit game. Just tell me what you want.
Yeah, I was distracted, tired, and brain foggy that night. Happens to a lot of people. And if she'd have asked me, I would have gone. But it didn't cross my mind in the moment. She refuses to chalk it up to a mistake and let it go, and says she shouldn't have to ask me to do things like this for her.
Then you shouldn't have suggested it.
and should be a quote husband's instinct to do things like this for his wife. I don't disagree, but I should have picked up on it. But if she was worried about it, she just needed to say something, and I definitely would have gone to the car for her. She believes me when I say that. I said that I don't do well with hints, and she's telling me that this is a signal that I don't care about her. So am I the asshole for being inconsiderate and letting my wife walk alone in the dark?
No. Well, a little bit. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have let her walk alone in the dark, but hey, it was her idea.
Yeah.
What? Like,
Here's the thing.
it was her idea.
Yeah. This is... So this...
Classic women right now.
Yeah. Here's the thing with the male species as a whole. We are very straightforward.
Yep.
Hints go way over our head.
Yep.
Just tell us.
Yep.
There's nobody in the world that's a legitimate mind reader. Not even Nostradamus in his infinite wisdom.
Oh, and if you give us a way out, we're taking it.
Like, the easiest conversation that this would have been was that, and it's clear that there are some communication issues, because like, oh, if you really loved me and my husband, you would know just to do this. Like, the answer is no. That's not the case at all. The easiest way to solve this is, in her case, she should have been like, hey, I feel like I can go get it by myself, but I'm not sure. It seems like it's a little sketchy area. Can you come with me?
Right.
All she has to say.
Yep.
And he probably was like, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, hey man, I would have been like, hey man, now gender roles are important. Fuck off. This is 2023. I thought gender roles didn't matter anymore. I thought women are CEOs now. Like, go walk your own fucking car.
Only like Stephanie McMahon.
Right? But like, no. Here's how it would have happened with Jazz and I. Jazz would look at me and go, can you go to the car and get my glasses? And I'd be like, oh. And she'd go, please. And here's one of two things would happen. I would go, yeah, and I'd go, or I'd go, come with me, and we would go.
Yeah.
But if she goes, hey, I'm going to go to the car and get my glasses, I'd be like, great, I'll be right here.
Yeah.
That's just what would happen.
Yeah.
That's what would happen. And I'd be like, you can't be mad at me 4 days later for something you offered to do.
Yeah.
Like,
subtle hints aren't going to go well, and neither are pop quizzes. And like he said, I've had moments where I've been tired or my brain's just not there, and I'll miss something. Happens like brain fog happens a lot. Sometimes I've heard people call guys have a nothing box. Where where they're just thinking about nothing for a little bit.
Nothing.
And I saw this one creator was like, guys just have a nothing box. Listen, if you notice that they're in their nothing box, just write something down. Leave it next to them. They'll read it and they'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, like, why are you playing chess with your relationship right now? There's like, if you want to go get your glasses, ask him to go get your fucking glasses.
Yeah, communication is key. Like
I understand, like, you know, so you want your man to take care of you. You want your man to do things without being asked and told. Hey, man, I get that. I totally get that. I don't like it when Jazz does certain things too. I don't want to ask her to do things, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta ask her to do things.
Yeah, it's like no one's a mind reader. If you want something done, say I want this, I want that, and the right person will understand that and not be taken back by it.
Yeah, like me specifically, if you can reason with, if I don't want to do something, if you can reason with me, I won't do it. I'll do it. I will do it. I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. I'll do it. But also, sometimes it's like, okay, this is my duty as a man or as a boyfriend. I have to do this if I don't want to do it. I'm learning that a lot now. It's just like, okay,
it's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's weird, right? But yeah, no, this could have just, like I said, this could have been easily solved with communication.
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
Park better.
Yeah, just be honest with that. Be honest with yourself.
Be like, yeah, I parked at a kind of a behind an alleyway, like off the main street. Like, no, park in a more lit location. Like, just my God. Would you wait? So come on, you tweeted about Goldberg?
I can categorize this under everyone sucks, I guess.
Yeah, it's depending on how you look at it. Like but it's still like just say it. Like I hate when that happens. Like I don't need minds. Just tell me.
It's like, lady, I get what you're trying to say here, but if you never offered,
he wouldn't know. Yeah. He said, we mapped out the different options. You chose the option of going by yourself.
Yeah, you can't. You don't be mad at me for regretting your decision.
Like, did she want him to offer? But like, oh, are you sure about that? You know, but also come back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, I would do that too. I'll go. Like, are you sure? I'll come with you if you want. No, it's fine. Great. I'm gonna be here with my friends. Go. Get out of here.
Listen, the "Are you sure?" is always like the last minute question.
Yeah, "Are you sure?" is always a cover your ass.
Mm-hmm. I asked twice. And this is the definitive answer, but no, that was good. We got to find more "Everyone Sucks" ones because that was a good one.
That's a good one. All right, we'll save it for next week. Yeah, I feel a dump coming on. I gotta take care of that.
Time to get out of here. We will see you guys next week.
Show is not uploaded.
It will be. Just text me when it does.
No, it's gonna be. I'm gonna do it right now. I already exported it. I just gotta upload it.
All right, peace. While we do the upload the show and stuff, we're getting out of here. See you, folks.
Later, everybody.